Wait a minute. Have you heard the weird tales of the Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
Sunday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. And so I tell you the amazing story of House of Greed. A taxicab rolls through the night and comes to a stop before a brownstone mansion on West 52nd Street. The driver opens the door, and a handsome, well-dressed man steps out, pays the driver, slips quickly up the stairs, fumbles with a bunch of keys, but the door opens.
Oh, hello, Jackson.
Mr. Talbot, welcome home, sir.
Where's Mrs. Talbot?
Oh, she left 3 days ago. Went to the place in the Catskills. There's a note on your desk, sir.
Oh, good.
Your brother, Frank, is waiting in the library.
Oh. Hello, Frank. What do you want?
John.
Now, look, Frank, I told you the last time I'd give you no more money.
Oh, but it isn't gambling debts this time. I'm reforming. I'm going to settle down and work.
Work?
I met a big cattleman from South America. He has a very lovely daughter. And she talked her father into letting me buy an interest in the business.
How much?
10,000. Oh, I'm sure I'll make good, John.
Oh, very well. I don't mind doing something like that for you. When are you leaving?
Tomorrow. I've had a plane reservation for 4 days. Thanks for the check, John. You're a swell guy. Tell Mary goodbye for me.
Yeah, she's up in the Catskills.
So Jackson told me.
Good Lord.
What's wrong?
She hasn't gone to the Catskills. I can't understand this. What on earth does she mean?
Well, what is it?
Well, read it.
John, this life is too lonely. I can't go on like this, so I'm leaving you. I found someone else who is more considerate of me.
But
First, I'm going home, and from there, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but things just didn't work out for us. Mary.
Someone who's more considerate of her. Why, I've given Mary everything her heart desired. She must be out of her mind.
Of course, you have been gone a lot, and women get crazy ideas.
It's knocked the pins right out from under me.
Yes, I can see that. You'd better take it easy for a while.
Yes, I feel, I don't know, kind of sick. All of a sudden, nothing seems to matter.
Oh, maybe she'll wake up before she gets too far. Perhaps I'd better cancel my trip for a few weeks until you get straightened out.
No, never mind. I'll pull myself together. I wouldn't have you sidetrack your plans for the world. I think you better go now, Frank. I'd rather be alone.
All right. But don't do anything foolish.
What do you mean?
Well, if you brood about it, you're liable to get some crazy ideas and end up really holding the sack.
Good luck, Frank. Lots of luck.
Thanks. Goodbye, John.
John sits for the remainder of the night staring over the top of his desk. The next morning, he closes the house and starts on Mary's trail, which takes him to London, Paris, Berlin, all over Europe, but to no avail. Finally, he drops his active interest in his business and goes to live in his country estate. Then one day, 14 years later, he finds himself on a honeymoon. He has married a widow named Helga.
Well, John, dear, we got away without too much trouble.
Well, it does seem a bit silly, rice and honeymoons at our age.
Our age? Well, you sound as though we're a couple of old grannies. I'm 36 and you're 45, and I certainly don't feel old.
Why, of course you're not, Helga.
Oh, dear. John, now that the wedding's over, there's something I haven't told you.
Oh, now
I haven't said anything because I was afraid it might make a difference.
I know what it is. You have a son.
How did you know?
I wondered when you were going to mention it.
Oh, well, he finishes school this year. It's been quite a struggle putting him through college. but he's very bright. Paul has studied hard and managed to cram 2 years into one. Could he spend the summer with us?
Why, of course.
Oh, John, you're a darling.
I should be able to find a place for him in the business. Oh, ask him to come down to our place in the country.
Oh, thanks, John. You're wonderful.
So Helga's son, Paul, came to spend the summer at the country place. And he stayed the next winter, and the following summer, and the next winter. Now it is summer again, and Paul is still visiting his mother and stepfather. The first year, he worked in the office every day until noon, and found business very boring, so finally he quit going to the city at all.
But, Mother, I've looked the whole thing over, and there's nothing there that interests me.
Well, you could learn about the business. You seem to be able to learn anything else you want to.
But I don't care for business.
Oh, you're a fool. I worked my knuckles to the bone to give you an education. I married John Talbot to give you a chance to do something. John has no children. It's a huge business. And one day you could control the whole thing. I'm disappointed in you, Paul. You're letting me down.
Well, it seems to run very well without too much attention from him. If we were to inherit it, why wouldn't it continue to run just as well?
You either get down to that office or you pack your things and get out.
Why should I? I'm perfectly satisfied.
I'll tell John to make you go.
And suppose I tell him what you just said? That you married him just to give me a chance? Married him for his money?
You wouldn't dare.
And suppose I tell him that you were never divorced from Father? That he's still down in South America, still wandering around trying to find a gold mine?
If you dare open your mouth, I'll...
Hello there. How are you, Helga? What's this I heard about South America?
Oh, why, nothing, darling. Paul was just talking about someone he met from down there.
Who do you know from South America, Paul?
Fellow, I met him today.
Were you in the city today?
No, I was down the village.
I didn't suppose you'd been out of the house today. What's his name?
Why, I don't remember.
I didn't think you would. You haven't been out of this house for 3 days. Paul, I think you're the laziest man I've ever met.
All right. I'll start back to the office Monday. If that's what you and Mother want me to do, I'll do it.
Why, I'm sorry I wasn't here for dinner, Helga. I was detained in town. I have quite a bit of work to do. I'll be here in the library for 2 or 3 hours.
Very well, John. I won't bother you. I'll go on upstairs. Besides, I want to have a little talk with Paul. Good night, dear.
Good night, Helga. What on earth? Who's out there? Who are you? What do you want out there?
May I come in? I want to talk with you.
Well, why do you come to the library windows? Why didn't you ring the bell?
I didn't want to cause a disturbance.
Disturbance? What do you mean?
May I come in?
Yes, come ahead.
Don't you know me, John?
Good Lord. Mary.
I'm sorry, John. I had to talk with you. I saw the light in the library.
What do you want?
I need your help.
Where have you been all these years?
Oh, every place. Are you still filled with resentment?
It's been too long ago. At first I was. I followed you all over Europe, but never quite caught up with you. Now I'm glad I didn't. There's no telling what I might have done.
I'm sorry, John. I was a fool, and I know that now. May I sit down?
Why, of course. Have you a cold?
Yes, I can't seem to shake it. I've had it for weeks.
See, I hate to mention it, but you look a bit shabby, Mary. Aren't you doing well?
Oh, well, yes. Yes, I'm doing all right.
Are you?
You've married again.
Yes.
And your wife is here?
Yes.
Then I'll be as brief as possible. I wouldn't want her to know that I was here.
You want me to help your husband?
No, not that. I have no husband.
What about the man you said was more considerate of you?
He left me 4 years after the baby was born.
Baby? You have a child?
Yes, John. She's 17 now.
And where's the man?
I don't know, and I don't care. Oh, John, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I should have known better. But he practically carried me off my feet. And I learned later, to my sorrow, that he was not worth shooting.
Where's your daughter?
She's in a school in Vermont. I've worked hard to give her an education. I've done everything I could do to give her a chance. I've not seen her very often. But now, well, I'm sort of cracking up. I've been ill a lot, and I seem to have trouble getting a job.
Job? What kind of a job?
Why, any kind of a job.
What have you been working at, Mary?
Oh, John, I've made such a miserable mess of it. I was never able to face things. I always took the line of least resistance.
What a shame.
And now I've come to the end of my rope. Joan has finished school. She's a lovely girl, John. I can't let her know. I can't take her with me.
Why not?
She deserves so much more. She deserves a chance in life. I want you to do something for her.
Why should I?
Because she's your daughter, John.
Yeah. My daughter?
Yes, yours and mine. She was born 7 months after I left. Here's the birth certificate. Please, John, do something for her. She shouldn't be made to suffer for my mistake. She's innocent.
Well, does she know I'm her father?
No. And she doesn't remember the other men. Here, I'll give you her address. Fernwood College. And I'll write a letter to her explaining all about you.
Well,
Oh, John, you could do so much for her. She's a young lady now. And so lovely. Please see her. I know you'll fall in love with her.
All right, Mary. I'll see her. I'll have her come down here.
Oh, John, I'm so sorry. So sorry for everything I've done. Please forgive me.
I've forgotten everything, Mary. Oh, wait a moment. Take this check and do something about that cough.
No, thanks, John. I won't need it.
You'd better take it.
Thanks. I'll be all right in a few days. The cough will be gone. Good night, John.
Good night, Mary.
If he brings this girl here, do you realize what it means, Mother?
Yes?
It's his own daughter. If he falls for her, if he likes her, he'll change his will and split the estate.
She's entitled to it, isn't she?
Now, why should she be? Strange girl he didn't even know existed. Popped up out of nowhere and cheats us out of half the estate.
I know what you mean.
We've been here for several years. You're his wife. It isn't fair.
What would you do about it, Paul?
I'd see that she didn't get anything.
How would that be possible?
Suppose she didn't like it here. Supposing that before John got attached to her, the things happened that would make her dislike everything here. If she runs away soon enough, he won't change his will.
Perhaps you're right. And if she doesn't?
Then maybe something could happen to John. Later, something could happen to the girl. But in any event, the will must not be changed.
Where do you get such ideas?
That, Joan dear, is the story of your mother. I trailed them all over Europe, but never quite caught up with them.
You mean you planned to kill them?
Kill them? I was filled with revenge, but I finally gave up the chase and returned here to wait. I knew that sooner or later she'd show up.
But it's been so long ago. Surely you've lost the desire for revenge by this time.
Time heals many wounds, my dear.
If you had caught up with them and satisfied your revenge, what good would it have done?
Quite right, my dear, quite right. Tell me, have you no recollection of this man? You can recall nothing about him?
Absolutely nothing. Remember, I was only 4 when he went away.
And you do believe that I'm your father?
What else am I to believe? Mother proved that with the birth certificate. Proved that I'm Joan Talbot, not Joan Evans, as I've always believed.
Of course. And would you like to remain here?
Why, yes, I think I would,
Well,
but
there seems to be a doubt. Why do you hesitate?
I don't know. From all the evidence, I belong here. I have a legal right, but... Well, I can't seem to find words to express it.
Express what?
From the moment I stepped in the door of this house, I've had a strange feeling. A cold, chilly sensation of fear.
Well, is it something you feel about me?
Yes.
You're afraid of me.
No, I don't think so.
Is it Helga?
Well...
Is it Paul?
Oh, please don't ask me anymore. I don't know what it is.
Well, what has Paul said to you?
Nothing. No one said anything. It's just a premonition of evil. There's something wrong. Something horribly wrong in this house.
Oh, you're imagining things, Joan. It's all in your mind. It will pass as suddenly as it came. You're young, Joan, impressionable, and you've suddenly found your life turned upside down. A new environment to which you've never become accustomed, but you'll get used to it. You're my daughter. I want you to have what you deserve, what is rightfully yours.
I understand. And I'll try to overcome this feeling.
Yeah, that's better. You're a lovely girl, Joan. An intelligent girl. I know I'm going to be very proud of you.
Thank you. I think I'll go to bed now.
Well, it is rather late. Good night, dear. See you in the morning.
Hello.
Paul, what are you doing here on the stairs in the dark?
I wanted to tell you something.
What?
You're very, very beautiful. Your eyes, your hair, just like gold. Gold moonbeams. And soft.
Paul!
And your throat. Your throat is slender and soft. Like...
Take your hands off my neck. Paul!
I don't know many girls. Girls don't like me.
Let me by.
You don't like me either, do you?
Well,
I know. I can tell. Elsie didn't like me either. She was afraid of me.
Who's Elsie?
She was a girl in the village. She worked here in the summertime. No one knows what became of her.
What?
I don't remember what happened to her. But her throat was slender and white, like yours.
Let me by.
Joan.
What? Who's here? Who's in this room?
Don't turn on the light.
Helga. What do you want?
I must talk to you.
What about?
You're not safe here. No one is safe in this house. You must leave at once.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
The house is wrong. It's filled with evil and hate. I know.
Why do you stay?
I can't leave. It's too late. But you must go at once.
Do you mean that Paul?
That's part of it.
Then what else?
John.
John? What about him?
I can't tell you. But you must believe me.
What about my father?
He doesn't believe he is your father. And he's planning to get revenge on your mother through you.
I don't believe you. I won't.
Get away while you have a chance.
No. I won't run from it. I'll face it, whatever it is.
Very well. Good night, Joan.
Now it is nearly midnight. John still works at his desk in the library. But outside, a man steps softly through the trees upon the terrace, quietly opens the library doors, and steps in.
Hello, John.
Frank. Good Lord.
Yes, Brother Frank. Well, why don't you say something? Come in, or get out, or something.
Why, come in, Frank. You fairly knocked me off my feet. I didn't know whether you were alive or dead.
It's been a long time, John.
Why haven't you written me?
Well, I was hoping I could make a go of that ranch and pay you back, but I guess I was just born unlucky.
Oh?
They had a revolution and cleaned Senor Gonzalez out and me with him.
That's too bad, Frank.
But you're still the same steady, reliable John. Yes, sir, I've tried my darndest to be like you, but, well, it just isn't in me. I don't have what it takes. The last 2 years, I've had a pretty tough time. I caught some sort of a malarial fever down there, and it's impossible to get rid of it. Keeps recurring.
You certainly don't look well. You've aged quite a bit. You better have Dr. Richards look you over tomorrow.
Huh. She's still kicking around? I thought he'd be gone long ago. How's your new marriage turned out?
Oh, very well. Very well indeed.
Good. Ever hear from Mary?
Yes. She came to see me. I knew she would eventually. She was broke and quite ill. She'd had a tough time of it.
And you helped her out. You would. You couldn't turn anyone down.
Well, she was mainly interested in my helping the girl. She had her in a school in Vermont.
And so now you're taking care of both of them.
What else could I do?
Good old Joe.
I sent for the girl and brought her down here. She's a lovely child. Sweet as can be.
And you'll give her everything her heart desires, I suppose. And then you'll have another problem on your hands with Joan. A girl 17 either wants to get married or go to college.
Oh? Well, I've decided that.
Really?
I'd like to send her to Wellesley.
Good. Isn't every man who can have...
Just a minute, Frank. I'll be right back. Well, what are you doing out here in the hall at this time of night for?
Oh, well, Mother sent me down to see why you hadn't come up to your room.
Oh. Well, tell her I'll be up in a few minutes.
Yes, I'll tell her.
My stepson, Paul. His mother thought I was staying up unusually late.
Oh, well, I'll run along. Good heavens, it's after 12. When's the last train back to the city?
12 o'clock. You've missed it.
Well, when's the next one?
5 a.m.
Oh. Well, I suppose I'll have to wait for that. Can you put me up?
Yes, of course, Frank.
Oh, thanks.
Well, wait a moment, Frank. I probably won't be up when you leave, so I'll give you this now.
Oh, now, John, I didn't come here for that. Well, that is not exactly.
No, you never have. Here you are, Frank. 1,000. And see Doc Richards first thing in the morning. And drop in at the office and let me know what he says.
Thanks, John. I'm sorry to have to take this. I only wish that...
Oh, forget it. We're not kids any longer. You're too old to learn new tricks now. Run along to bed, Frank. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, take the guest room at the head of the stairs.
Good night, John. See you in town at noon.
Night, Frank.
The clock strikes 3 as 2 figures slip down the darkened hall and quietly enter John's bedroom. Then a few minutes later, the same 2 figures make their way in the moonlight through the trees to the back of the estate, carrying a long, gruesome bundle wrapped in a sheet. Now it is 3 nights later, and Joan, Helga, and Paul are in the library as Joan paces back and forth anxiously.
But where could Father have gone? He didn't say a word about going out of town.
Maybe he doesn't want to come back.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like it here.
You should have listened to me.
But you didn't say anything about... Well, you just mentioned me.
Could have been mistaken. I just had a weird feeling of impending disaster.
Something is wrong, I know.
If I didn't belong here, if I could leave, I'd not stay another moment. Who knows what will happen next?
I know.
What do you know?
I know what'll happen next.
They always happen in twos.
Many people have come here and stayed a while and then suddenly disappeared.
What time is it?
11:30.
There's a train at 12. I'm leaving here. Hello? Yes, this is Joan Talbot. What? Good heavens, who? Where? Yes. Yes, I understand. Yes, I'll be here. Yes.
Who was it?
I don't know. I've never heard anything like it.
What do you mean?
It was a man, and he...
What man?
He said he had a message for us, and he'll be here at 12 o'clock, and to wait for him in the library.
The police?
I don't know. He said he'll come to the garden windows, to the library window.
Who could it be?
I don't know. But we'll wait. I'm going to see this through.
Here he comes. Through the garden.
Who is it, Mother?
I don't know.
The lights. Why did you turn out the lights?
I turned them out so we could see outside. Who is he?
I don't know. He's up on the terrace.
Who are you? What do you want?
I came to talk to you.
What about?
About what happened here at 3 o'clock in the morning several days ago.
Nothing happened. Nothing.
But something did happen.
Turn on the lights.
No, don't turn them on. You couldn't see me if you turned on the lights.
Paul, good Lord. Was it you who phoned me?
I spoke to you, but I didn't phone you.
Mother.
What happened in this house at 3 o'clock several days ago?
A man was murdered.
What? Paul.
Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights!
Joan Talbot, open the top drawer of that desk. Now take out the paper. It says, on the night of August 5th, we, the undersigned, murdered John Talbot in his bedroom and buried his body on the estate.
We didn't. We didn't.
It's John. It's John.
Sign it. Sign the paper and I'll go.
Sign it, Paul. Sign it. You did it. You killed him. Sign it.
You help me. You sign it.
I can't.
Turn on the lights, Joan.
John.
It's him. It's him. He isn't dead.
No, Paul.
We didn't. Paul, what happened?
I'll tell you. You killed my brother Frank instead. Come on in, Sergeant. You heard it all.
Yes, we heard it all.
Father, what on earth happened? When you phoned a while ago, I almost fainted. I was sure you were dead.
I knew from the moment you told me you were frightened in this house that something was wrong. I put two and two together and realized what it was. They didn't want you to share in the estate. I knew they were planning something on that night. And then my brother came. He accidentally got into my room by mistake, and they killed him instead of me. I saw them carrying his body through the trees. So I disappeared for a few days and evolved this plan. You've nothing to worry about any longer, Joan. Nothing.
No. Nothing to worry about. But the truth would certainly amaze you. All that Helga said about Paul and John was true. John was planning revenge, but not through Joan. That night your brother Frank came back. You discovered something, John. What was it Frank said?
And then you'll have another problem on your hands with Joan. A girl 17 either wants to get married or go to college.
It was then, John, that you knew the truth. The only way that Frank could have possibly known that the girl's name was Joan and that she was 17 was to have been with Mary. So John knew then that it was Frank who ran away with Mary and deserted her when Joan was 4 years old. And then John, knowing that Helga and Paul planned to kill him, deliberately let Frank occupy his room on that fateful night. John's revenge was satisfied, and he didn't have to turn a hand. That's all.
CBS has presented The Whistler. And now an important announcement regarding a change of time. Beginning 1 week from tomorrow night, on Sunday, September 13th, The Whistler will come to you at 9:15 p.m. Remember, Sunday, September 13th, at 9:15 p.m. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. Wait a minute. Have you heard the weird tales of the Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
Here's the sanitarium, Harvey.
Is he still unconscious?
Yes. Here comes the attendant.
We're all ready for him, Mrs. Jackson. Take his feet, Harold. Oh, had to tie him, eh?
Yes, I had to give him a good one on the chin.
You'll have to watch him. He may try to get away when he comes to.
Don't worry, we've got a lot of tough cases here.
Don't let him know who brought him here.
And don't let him know I had anything to do with it.
Leave everything to us.
It's a 2-hour drive back to the city, Donna.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll phone you tomorrow.
Good. If anything happens, we'll call you.
Thank you. Good night.
Saturday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales. I know many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the mysterious tale of Death Has a Thirst. The long black car with a handsome man at the wheel and the woman beside him returns to the highway and speeds on through the night. The man and woman sit staring ahead, lost in thought. The man is Harvey Davis. The woman, Mrs. Victor Jackson, wife of the unconscious man recently deposited at the sanitarium.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this, Harvey. But I had to have some help, and I knew I could depend on you.
It's all right, Donna. I only hope it'll do some good. Victor never drank a drop while we were in school.
He didn't drink when we were first married. But after his father died and Victor took over the business, he started.
It's a huge concern, and I guess he just couldn't take it. He's always had an inferiority complex.
But the thing that hurts me most is that the drinking has completely changed him. Why, he's suspicious of every move I make. He accuses me of the most disgraceful things. Accuses me of lying to him about everything and of being in love with other men. Oh, countless things.
Other men? What men?
Any man I speak to. Even you, Harvey.
Me? Well, after all, if he's going to be suspicious of any man, it would logically be me.
Why?
You've brought most of your troubles to me. He knows that. I'm as good a victim as any. He knows I'm terribly fond of you.
Are you, Harvey?
From the first day I met you, I said, here's a woman, a strong woman. Maybe she'll develop some backbone in my willy-nilly friend, Victor.
That's very nicely put, Harvey.
Let's hope this sanitarium does him some good.
If it doesn't, I don't know what I'll do.
Don't worry, Donna. Just remember, I'll do anything for you.
Thank you, Harvey.
About midnight, the black sedan arrives at the Jackson mansion. The butler greets Harvey and Donna at the door.
Evening, Mrs. Jackson. Evening, Mr. Davis.
Evening.
Dr. Saunders is in the library, ma'am.
What?
He's waiting for you.
Dr. Saunders at this hour? What on earth does he want?
You'd better see him, Donna. Maybe he knows.
Well, how could he? Come with me, Harvey.
Of course.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Saunders.
Good evening, Donna. Evening, Harvey.
Hello, Doctor.
This is quite a surprise.
I can imagine.
Harvey and I, we've just been for a little drive. I felt I needed some air.
Oh, that's so.
Did you come to see Victor?
Victor isn't here.
Really?
But I know where he is.
You do?
He's in a cheap dive of a rooming house downtown.
What?
But that's impossible.
That's where he always goes.
Well, you're wrong this time, Doctor. I took him by force to a sanitarium tonight. Harvey helped me. Maybe they can do something for him.
You told the sanitarium that I was his physician, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, they called me an hour ago. He's escaped.
What?
Oh.
They said he came to and broke away from them. I know where he usually goes, and I can find him. If you want me to find him.
Well, what are you inferring, Doctor?
Donna, I know what you've been through with Victor. I know what a trial it's been. I've tried and you've tried. We've all tried everything we could do to make him stop. Not many women would have put up with what you have. We've dragged him through before. We probably can do it again. I just thought, well, maybe you'd had enough.
You do know where he is.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I know.
Well, then find him.
I'm determined to cure him if I have to take him to a desert island.
That's an idea. A long ocean trip might be the answer. Should have to hog time.
I could do that, too.
Very well, I'll have a talk with him. I'll phone you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Oh, Harvey.
No. You've done your best, Donna.
Oh, but I feel so hopeless. I don't know what to do.
Try the desert island.
Why not? Harvey, it might work, mightn't it? You can help. Your yacht. Dr. Saunders may be right. Oh, at least it's worth a try.
I wonder.
Please, Harvey, it may be the answer.
I can't get away just now, but if you're determined, you're welcome to the yacht.
Oh, please, I'd feel better if you came along.
All right, Donna. I'll go. I'll arrange it. But he won't want to come.
We'll take him aboard by force.
Shanghai? Well, all right. Just let me know when you find him, and I'll arrange everything.
He sure was plastered. Well, I'll leave you alone with him, Doctor.
Thanks. That high pole will bring him out of this. Victor. Victor.
What? What's going on here? Who are you? Get away.
Quiet. Take it easy, Victor.
Huh? Who are you?
Doc Saunders.
Doc? Oh, what you want?
I want to talk to you, Victor. It's very important.
Important?
Come on, Victor. Snap out of it.
Hey, what's the idea? What you slapped me for?
To wake you up. I've got to talk to you.
Oh, hello, Doc. What are you after?
Is your head clear?
I guess so.
Well, then listen to me. You know where you are?
Yeah, my old haunt.
You know how you got here?
Well, let me see. I can't seem to remember.
Well, I'll tell you where you're going if you don't pull yourself together.
Where?
To the insane asylum.
Did you say asylum?
I did. I haven't told you this, but your great-grandfather died insane.
What?
And that was your father's greatest fear, that he would be a victim.
Oh.
And there's nothing that hastens final mental breakdown more than alcohol.
Insanity? Are you just telling me that?
No, I can prove it.
Good Lord.
Do you want that to happen to you?
Oh, no. Oh, but I just can't seem to quit.
You're going away, Vic.
Away? Where?
I'm sending you on a long voyage with no liquor.
Oh, no. No, you're not. No, now, I'll get hold of myself.
You said that before.
I can take it or leave it alone if I want to.
But you haven't so far. You've gone from bad to worse. Now you're going where you can't get it.
But, Doc, I can't. I'd die. I couldn't stand it.
You'll stand it and like it. If I have to kill you.
No, I won't be pushed around by anyone. I know who's back of this, Donna. She wants to get rid of me. Asylum, yeah. Yeah, that'd suit her fine. She'd like that. So she can cavort around with Harvey and all the others.
Shut up, Vic.
You're all planning to get rid of me. You don't like me.
You're taking a trip.
Get rid of me and you all share in the estate. Well, you'll see how much good it'll do. Oh.
But you are taking a trip, Victor.
And now, here you are, Victor, several hundred miles at sea. And worried, too, aren't you, Victor? That talk about insanity really upsets you. You believe it, too, don't you?
What's this? Where am I? Donna.
Do you feel better?
What is this? It's moving. I feel dizzy.
I don't think you're dizzy. We're on a boat, darling.
What boat?
We're on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
A boat? Doc Saunders. That's what he said. A voyage. It's his idea.
Oh, now, Victor, everything's going to be all right.
I know what you're planning to do. You're planning to kill me. You want to get rid of me. Want me to die.
You won't die.
Whose boat is this?
Harvey's yacht.
Harvey. Now I know it's a plot. Now I know what it's all about. You and Harvey, that's it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Victor. Harvey consented to let me have the yacht.
Is he on board?
Yes.
Of course. You and Harvey and me a prisoner. What a perfect setup.
You don't mean that, Victor.
I've been suspicious of you two all along. Who else is on board?
Nobody but the captain and the crew of 4.
And Harvey and the doctor.
Where are you taking me?
We're just cruising.
Just cruising. Till you find the right spot.
Right spot for what?
To dump me overboard. No one will ever know, will they? And you'll say I jumped over. I was washed over the side.
Oh, Victor, what has happened to you? You're like a stranger to me. I just don't know you. It doesn't seem possible that you're the man I married. My darling, what's happened to you?
Don't you know?
If I only did.
Why, I'm crazy. Insane. Surely you knew that. My great-grandfather was insane, and my grandfather, and undoubtedly my father, so why not me?
You're talking nonsense.
No. Hasn't Doc Saunders told you what he knows?
No.
Oh, come now. You three are closer than that.
Stop talking such nonsense. I won't listen.
I'm getting out of this cabin. I can't stand to be cooped up like
No,
this.
please stay here for a while, Victor. Please. Here, I brought you some milk. Please drink it.
Milk? Ah. Got a funny color to it. And it smells strange. What's in it? Arsenic?
It's just plain milk, Victor. Now drink it.
Do you like milk, Donna?
Yes, I love milk.
Then drink it yourself.
Victor! Oh, all over my dress.
You're trying to poison me, that's it. Now get out of here. Get out.
Oh, Victor, please, darling.
Get out! Oh. What do you want, Doc?
How do you feel, Victor?
They're trying to kill me. They plan to kill me.
Who?
Donna and Harvey. She just brought me some milk, and it had poison in it. I could tell by the color.
I think you're imagining things, Victor.
No, I'm not. They want me out of the way. I can tell.
What made you think the milk was poison?
It was a purplish color. Here's the glass. Smell it. Maybe I'm not so crazy after all.
I didn't say you were crazy. I only want you to stop drinking. Drink may bring it on.
Doc, where would they get poison?
Oh, come now, forget it.
Do you know where they get poison, Doc?
I'll see you later, Victor.
Maybe.
Did you send for me, Doctor?
Yes. Did you take some milk to Victor?
Yes, I did.
What'd you put in it?
Why should I put anything in it?
Victor thinks you did.
You should know me better than that, Doctor.
You did put something in it.
Oh, yes, I did. Some of that red liquid to make him quiet.
Oh, yes, of course. That's what it was.
And he threw it all over me. Oh, I'm thoroughly disgusted, Doctor. I can't go on with him this way. He isn't drinking, but there's something wrong. I decided to give it up as a bad job. I'm going to get a divorce.
Divorce? I'm afraid it's too late for that, Donna.
Too late? Why, what do you mean?
Well, there's something I haven't told you. I've been hoping it wouldn't be necessary. But after today, I've given up all hope.
Why can't I get a divorce?
You can't get a divorce from an insane person.
Insane? Good heavens.
There's been a secret in Victor's family for several generations. Not even Victor knew it. It touched his father ever so lightly, but Victor has all the symptoms. And the liquor has hastened the crack up. I couldn't be certain as long as he was drinking. But today, I realized the truth.
Why, I'm bewildered. I've never been so shocked in my life. I wish you hadn't told me.
I'm sorry, Donna. I wanted you to be on your guard. He has some strange hallucination about you and Harvey. He thinks you're planning to do away with him.
Do away with him? Oh, but that's ridiculous. I've never had such a thought. Never. Oh, but now I am frightened. Doctor, what about Alice?
Your daughter's only 8 years old. There are no symptoms, and it may miss her entirely.
But think what this will mean. If this gets out about Victor, why, it may ruin her whole life.
I understand that.
That must never happen. It must remain a secret.
That'll be difficult. It's going to be hard to handle when that craving returns.
Yes, he will. I'll think of something. I'll find a way.
Doctor, come quickly. It's Harvey Davis.
What's wrong, Captain?
Found him in his bunk with a cord around his neck.
Good heavens. Quiet, Donna. Come along.
Is he dead?
No, he's breathing. Found him just in time. He'll be all right in a few minutes.
Thank heaven.
Harvey.
Harvey.
Donna, what's wrong? What's happened?
Nothing much, Harvey. Just a little accident. You'll be all right.
Oh, my throat. What's going on?
You don't remember?
No, I was just taking a little nap. I feel as though I'd been choked.
Better tell him, Donna. Come along, Captain. Any liquor aboard, Captain?
Yes, Doctor. Several bottles in the locker in my cabin.
Let's have a look.
I keep it locked because, Hey, it's been jimmied. Well, what do you know? It's all gone.
I expected that.
I'll skin those men alive.
Don't blame the men, Captain.
What do you mean? What the devil is that? We've hit something. Come on. Captain! What is it, man? What's wrong with you?
The boilers blew up. We must have hit a reef. All three of the men of the crew were down there. We've got to abandon. I'm hurt bad, Captain.
He's dead.
See to the lifeboat. Round up the others. I'll go below.
Yes, Captain.
Murphy! John! Murphy! Are you there? Good Lord, what a mess. I can't imagine.
Days pass. The sun beats down relentlessly on the 5 survivors in the open boat. The doctor watches anxiously over the still unconscious captain. And Donna and Harvey keep a constant eye on Victor, who sits alone in the end of the boat staring at the horizon.
How's the captain, Doctor?
Still holding his own. Must have had a bad fall down that companionway.
I don't think he fell.
Good thing you went down after him.
We're running low on water. I hope we sight some land today. How much water have you left in your canteen, Donna?
Half full.
Hey, look over there. What's that?
Why, it's a ship.
No, it's land. An island. Grab an oar, Victor. Come on, Doc. Well, I've looked all around. The place is as barren of food and water as the Sahara Desert. I'm afraid if we do locate any water, it won't be fit to drink.
There must be water.
What do you care about water? You've got a canteen full of whiskey.
How much water is left?
I have some, and Dr. Saunders has some.
So I'd better get busy. Although my experiences on these islands haven't been so good.
Here's a chance to put your chemistry to use, Harvey. You know the test for lead and zinc?
Yes.
I'll give you 2 vials, some sodium sulfide tablets, and some potassium chromate. You know the test, 1 tablet of each and 10 cc's with water.
Mm-hmm.
A dark precipitate means poison.
Yes, I know. Thanks, Doc. Well, I'll start off and keep a direct line to the other side. Wherever that is.
Wait a minute, Harvey. I think I'll go with you.
Oh, why?
Oh, maybe I can help.
I'd go with you, Harvey, but I'd better keep my eye on the captain. He's the only one who knows where we are. I've got to pull him through.
That's all right, Doc. I don't need any help.
I think I'll go anyway.
All right. If you insist, come on.
Harvey, wait. I'm going too.
Why?
Because I want to.
We don't need you.
But I'm coming just the same. Please, Harvey, I'd like to come.
All right. Let's go. It's certainly hot. How do you feel, Donna?
All right. How far have we come?
Oh, 10 miles, I should say. This is a pretty big island at that. And nothing but desert.
Are you sure those last 2 water holes were poisoned?
Certainly.
Look good to me. I'm getting mighty thirsty.
Better quit drinking that whiskey. It'll only make you thirstier.
Harvey, can I have a little water?
I'm sorry, Donna, but you'll have to suffer it as long as you can. Please wait.
You suppose we'll ever get out of here?
I don't know.
Oh, it's all my fault. What a shame to get you into such a mess. Please forgive me, Harvey.
There's nothing to forgive, Donna. I'd do it again 100 times over. For you.
Would you, Harvey?
Yes. Poor Victor, what a sad thing.
No one must ever know, Harvey. Promise me if we get out of this. Promise me you'll never let anyone know.
No one will ever learn from me.
I got him! I got him!
What on earth?
Harvey, he's got a gun.
Where'd he get it? Come on.
I got him. Look, a lizard. A big one. I knew we'd find something.
Put that down. You can't eat that.
There must be water around here. There must be.
Where'd you get that gun?
Out of the captain's locker.
Better take it easy with those shells. We may need them.
Yeah. Maybe I will. Have a drink?
No.
All right. I'd sure like some water. How about it?
There's just enough for one of us to get back. And if only one goes back, it'll be Donna.
Donna? How chivalrous. Who's got the water?
I have.
Come on. Let's keep moving.
There's water around here. There must be. And I'm going to find it.
Donna, if we don't find water, he's going to start pleading for what you have. No matter how much he raves or pleads, don't give it to him. Even if he threatens us with a gun. Tell him you drank it all. I want you to have the best break out of this.
Thanks, Harvey. I appreciate that.
I found it. Water. I found water.
Hurry, Donna, hurry.
Well, what about it? What's the test show?
Just like all the rest. It's full of lead and zinc and heaven knows what else.
Poison, huh?
Worse yet.
How about some of that water?
What water?
In Donna's canteen.
There isn't any more.
Who drank it?
I did.
You both did. You left none for me.
You've got your whiskey.
I can't drink whiskey all the time.
Done pretty well on it for several years.
I've got to have some water.
Harvey warned you.
Harvey. Is that all you think about, Harvey? You should have married Harvey.
Perhaps you're right about that.
Are you sure that water's poison?
I'm not drinking it, and I'm thirsty, too.
Maybe you're just waiting.
For what?
I don't know. But I can imagine a few things.
We'd better stop here for the night. Are you very tired, Donna?
Awfully.
Better try and get some sleep. Where are you going, Victor?
Just going to look around. May find something. I'm hungry.
I'm going to build a fire with this brush. Don't get too far away.
I'll be around. Don't worry.
Keep a close watch on your canteen, Donna. I have an idea what he's up to. I'll try not to sleep, but I'm dead tired.
I'll do my best, Harvey.
If he goes to sleep, I'll try to get that gun away from him. Good night, Donna.
Good night, Harvey.
Night comes on. The fire burns low, and only a red glow remains. Donna, in spite of herself, drops off into a sound sleep. Victor stirs from his place 20 feet away, looks about him, and crawls silently toward the sleeping Donna.
Put it down, Victor.
I want some water.
There isn't any more.
I think there is.
You heard what I said.
You're lying. You have got some.
Victor, what is it?
You've got some water and you won't give me any.
Harvey.
I'm wise to you. You don't want me to have any. You want me to die. You're in love with each other.
You're drunk.
What if I am in love with Harvey? What of it?
Donna.
You want me out of the way. Neither of you's very thirsty, no. Because you had some water. And you got it out of that pool. You're lying to me. It's good water.
You're crazy.
You sneaked it out of there while I was asleep. You tried to make me think it was poison. I ought to shoot you both.
All right, Victor, if you're so positive. Go on down and drink out of the pool.
Oh, that gives me an idea. I'll just find out if that water's poisoned. Go drink some of it, Harvey.
Certainly not.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
It's poison, Victor.
Go ahead, drink, or I'll shoot.
No, don't do it, Harvey.
Then supposing you drink some, Donna.
Very well, I will.
Victor, it'll kill her. Donna, wait. I'll drink it. You're a fool, Victor. But come along.
This is going to be very interesting.
Not as much as you think.
Get off of me! I'll kill you! Oh. Maybe that'll hold you, Harvey.
Oh, Harvey.
I'm all right, Donna. It just hit my shoulder. I hope you're satisfied now that it is poison, Victor.
Maybe. But you two are getting water from someplace. All right. Hand over that canteen, Donna.
Please, Victor. That's for Donna.
I'll take care of it for all of us. And if either of you make a move toward me, I'll shoot both of you. Good night. And sleep tight, both of you.
The night slowly fades, and the chill of dawn creeps in. Then, as the sun comes over the horizon, Harvey stirs fretfully, opens his eyes, and looks for Donna. She sits beyond the dead embers of the campfire, her hands folded before her, staring blankly into space. Harvey raises up with a start and moves quickly to her side. Victor is sprawled on his back, the hilt of a hunting knife protruding from his breast.
Donna. Good. What's happened to Victor?
He's dead, Harvey.
Dead? That knife. Why, it's yours, Donna.
Yes, it's mine. Now no one will ever know. Will they, Harvey?
No.
I had to.
Harvey, hello there.
Dr. Saunders. Here we are.
Well, thank heavens we found you. Sighted a ship, built a signal fire. They're waiting for us. Well, what's this?
Well, Victor must have gone crazy in the night and stabbed himself.
Now, let me see. He's dead, Harvey. How'd this happen?
I told you he must have...
Stabbed himself?
No, he didn't. I stabbed him. It's my knife. I got to thinking, and I did it. I crept over and I stabbed him.
Oh, I see. When did you do this, Donna?
It was not more than an hour ago. I couldn't help it, Doctor. I couldn't help it.
Please, Donna, please. There's nothing to fear.
I didn't want anybody to know. Because of Alice.
They won't know, Donna. You didn't kill him.
What?
He's been dead for at least 3 hours.
Oh, what do you mean?
Look at his eyes. Look at his lips and his tongue. The swelling of his stomach. Did you test the pool, Harvey?
Yes. Every pool we've come to has been heavy in mineral content. I warned him, but he thought we were lying to him. Last night he pulled a gun and took Donna's canteen. There wasn't much in it, but it was all we had.
He's been drinking whiskey, so a little water wouldn't satisfy him. So he drank from the pool. Poor Victor. I guess it's just as well.
Don't worry, Donna. No one will ever know. We'll lay doctor.
There's nothing to tell. Except Victor Jackson poisoned himself in a fit of extreme thirst.
No, Donna. No one will ever know. You did your best. You tried hard to make things work out. But somehow fate seemed to take things right out of your hands. But you know better, don't you, Harvey? You know what happened. Tell us, Harvey. Tell us.
After Victor took the canteen from Donna and drank the few swallows in it, he fell off to sleep. Then I took the canteen and filled it from the poison pool. I knew he'd wake up with a greater thirst, and he did. But I'm not sorry. He's better off. And I found I do love Donna. And I'll take care of her for the rest of her days.
There you are. From drama to tragedy. From tragedy to a beautiful love story wherein they will live happily ever after. I know.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler stories are written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originate from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you the incredible tale of the Secret Seven. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Have you heard The Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
I must kill Henry. I must kill Henry.
That was Ambrose Brent, official of an airplane plant. He found strange notes in the night.
You better get away, Ambrose. Take a good long rest. The sooner the better.
That was Henry Pierce, Ambrose's partner. He was growing fearful of Ambrose.
Get this prescription filled, Ambrose. It'll make you sleep. And you'd better get away.
And that was Ambrose's friend, Dr. Fenwick. And this is Ambrose's wife, Doris.
What's happened, Ambrose? Look at me. What have you done?
Another Saturday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler.
And I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who've stepped into the shadows. I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. And so I tell you tonight the strange story of Notes in the Night. A storm rages wildly over the countryside. Beyond that long row of trees stands a lonely house half hidden in the darkness of the night. Not a single light appears from any of its many windows. But up there in that room with a large window, a man stirs fretfully in his sleep. The man is Ambrose Brent, an official of an airplane plant. But it's not the storm that stirs his uneasy slumber. It's something else, something far more sinister, something that has happened many times in the past few weeks. Now he stirs again, moans loudly, and suddenly sits bolt upright in his huge bed.
Who's there? Who's there, I say? It's funny. I sworn I heard something. I swear I felt someone in the room.
Turn on the lamp, Ambrose. You'll see.
I can't imagine what's happening to me. It's just nerves, I guess. It's just... Good Lord. Another note. Another one. I must kill Henry. I must kill Henry. That's the third note this week in my own handwriting. I've got to do something. I've got to tell someone. Henry's my best friend. Oh, it's nerves. I know. I'll call Dr. Fenwick. Doc will know what's wrong. Fairchild 1834W. Yes.
Hello?
Is Dr. Fenwick in?
No, Dr. Fenwick isn't in. He can be reached at Walnut 2380.
Walnut 2380. That's Henry Pierce's number. I can't go there. If there's anything to this, I must stay away from Henry. I've got to see Doc Fenwick. Wait till morning.
Well, hello, Ambrose. Sit down. What's wrong?
Doc, I've got to talk with you.
Oh, of course, Ambrose. Why not? What's up?
Something's wrong with me. Terribly wrong.
Oh, yeah?
Read this note.
No? I must kill Henry. Henry? I must kill Henry? I don't get it. What has this to do with your trouble?
I wrote it.
You did? Well, really? And why did you write it?
I don't know. I don't remember writing it, but I know it's in my own writing. And that's it.
Who's Henry?
Henry Pierce. Who else?
Have you been drinking, Ambrose?
Not a drop, I swear.
Well, look, old boy, you'd best sit down. Ah, that's better. Now, when did you write this?
I don't know. I found 6 notes just like that.
6? Where?
On the nightstand beside my bed.
Are you sure it's your writing?
Well, doesn't it look like it?
Yeah, certainly does. Tell me, how many hours have you been putting in at the plant lately?
Oh, too many.
I'd better give you a thorough going over, Ambrose.
But why should I write such notes?
I don't know. Mine plays queer tricks on us sometimes under undue strain. You'd better slow down. That's my best prescription. Take it easy. Get out of town as soon as possible.
Yes. Yes, I guess you're right.
Here, I'll give you something for your nerves.
Thanks. Doctor, you don't think I'm losing my mind, do you?
No, Ambrose. You're just terribly upset, that's all. Here. Here's your prescription. You better get it filled tonight.
Thanks. I'll leave Saturday. You don't think there's anything wrong with me? Mentally, I mean.
If you're in town after Saturday night, I'll drag you out with my own 2 hands.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Ambrose. Sleep tight. And don't think about anything. Ambrose, why don't you take a little vacation?
What do you mean, Henry? Have you been talking to Doc Fenwick?
Fenwick?
Of course you have. He told you all about it.
About what?
I feel better than I've felt in years. I'm in excellent condition. Do you hear?
Certainly I hear. What's wrong with you, Ambrose?
Nothing.
If you act like this, I'll be forced to agree with Doc Fenwick.
What has he said?
He just said you were overworked.
Well, he doesn't know everything.
Ambrose, you'll please me very much if you'll take a little vacation.
Did Doc Fenwick tell you what was bothering me?
Yes, he did, Ambrose, and I think you'd better get away as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry, Ambrose, but don't worry. Everything will be all right.
Then you're not worried? You're not upset about it?
Certainly not. Why should I be?
Please believe me, Henry, I wouldn't do such a thing. I've never even thought of such a thing. I'd kill myself first. You do believe me, don't you?
Huh? Why, of course I do, of course.
I wouldn't kill you. I have no reason.
Shall I drive you home, Ambrose?
No, I'll get home. I'd better leave tomorrow, hadn't I? I'll go up to my place in the mountains. There's no one there. My wife has gone to Palm Beach.
Yes, Ambrose. You better leave tomorrow.
Yes. Doris will be back from Palm Beach in 3 weeks.
That'll be long enough. I'm sure you'll find things different when you return. Quite different.
Good night, Henry.
Goodbye, Ambrose. Sleep tight and don't think about anything.
Ambrose goes home and to bed. The clock ticks off the eerie hours. The clock chimes 2. And suddenly Ambrose stirs fretfully in his slumber. He wakes and again sits up staring into the inky blackness of his silent room. Turn on the light, Ambrose. Turn on the light.
Who is it? Who's there? Good Lord. Another one. I must kill Henry. Jameson! Jameson! I've got to get hold of myself. This is ridiculous. Jameson! I'm losing my mind. I must be.
Did you call me, sir?
Yes. Yes, I called you.
I thought I heard a scream.
A scream? No, What time is it?
It's long after midnight, sir. It's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock? Oh. Pack my bag. Order my plane to be ready in 30 minutes.
Where are you going, sir?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
I've got to get away. I've got to. 2:15. I must get away. I must. I'm mad. I must be. Jameson! Jameson!
The car is at the door, sir.
Then come on with the bag.
Where are you going, sir?
I don't know where I'm going, Jameson. Understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Good night, Jameson.
Goodbye, sir.
Yes? Yes? Who is it? What do you want? Come in. Ambrose, is that you? What on earth are you doing here at 2:30 in the morning? What's wrong? I say, what's wrong with you?
I must kill Henry.
Ambrose, put up that gun. No, don't, Ambrose. Don't.
I must kill Henry.
Don't, you're mad. Don't come near me. Don't. Ambrose.
Operator, I want Dr. Fenwick in New York. Fairchild, 1834W. Please. It's Dr. Fenwick's residence. Make it person to person. This is Crust Line 142. I've got to talk to someone. can't stand this silence, this being alone. Hello? Oh. I see. No, never mind. I'll call tomorrow.
Put up your hands. Don't move.
Doris,
Ambrose.
what on earth? What are you doing here?
Why, what are you doing here?
I thought you were in Palm Beach. What are you doing up here in the mountains?
I changed my mind. I decided to come up here.
Why didn't you let me know?
I didn't think about it. I was going to phone you in the morning. Well, how did you find time to get away from the plant? I thought you were too busy to eat.
Well, I decided I needed to rest, so I...
It's an early hour to arrive. 5 a.m.
Is it? Well, you see, it occurred to me on the spur of the moment. I flew up. Well, what are you staring at?
I'm not staring, Ambrose. What's wrong? What's happened?
Nothing. I came up here because...
Because what? What are you talking about, Ambrose? Are you ill?
Yes. Yes, that's it. I'm ill, very ill. Yes. Get the doctor.
What doctor? There's no doctor near here.
Get Dr. Fenwick. He knows.
Dr. Fenwick?
He's the only one who knows. Except Henry.
Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm not. Do you hear? It's a lie. I'm not crazy. I won't be crazy. Oh, Doris, what's happened to me? What's happened? Oh, poor Henry.
Ambrose, look at me. What have you done? What have you done?
Let me alone. I'm going to bed. I want to get some sleep. I've done nothing. What's that? Wake up, Doris.
What?
That noise.
I didn't hear it.
I did. Hear it? There it is again. There's someone coming there. They are at the door.
There's no one.
You see? I'm not here. I haven't been here. You don't know where I am. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Doc, it's you.
Oh. Hello, Doris.
Hello, Doctor.
Did you get my call? You did, didn't you?
Now, Ambrose, take it easy. Everything's going to be all right. Don't get excited.
All right. What do you mean?
You've got a 50-1 chance to pull out of it.
Pull out?
Certainly. I know you're mentally upset. You have been for weeks. I'll swear to that. I have records. I'll appear on your side. You'll get out of it.
Out of it? Out of what?
You're not a killer.
Killer?
What did you say? What did you say?
I said you weren't a killer. I understand your case perfectly.
Henry is dead?
Yes. I'm sorry to say Henry is dead. He died about 2:30 in the morning, as closely as can be determined. From all indications, the police think he committed suicide.
But he didn't. You know he didn't.
He may have.
Then why did you come here?
I thought this is where you'd come, and I was right.
What does this mean, Doctor?
It means that if Henry's dead, I killed him. I must have.
Must have. Are you positive?
Yes, who else could it be? I've written notes to myself for weeks. This Doc knows. He knows all about it.
Do you?
Yes, but I didn't think it would come to this.
But why did you do such a thing? He was your best friend.
I know it. But if he's dead, I must have done it.
But why did you do it?
I don't know.
No, please, don't get upset. He wasn't responsible.
I am responsible. I did it. And I'm going back.
No, Ambrose. Stay here till I send for you. I'll have a talk with you.
No. I'm going back this morning.
I can't believe such a thing.
Doris, why do you look at me like that? Please. I don't know why I did it. Oh, Doris, don't you believe me?
I don't know. I don't know.
Tell her, Doc. Tell her.
Tell her what?
Tell her the truth. Tell her I didn't do it for a reason. Explain to her how it was. You know how it happened. Go on, tell her. Tell her.
Come now, old boy. This is not helping you.
What'll they do with me?
Why? Now, look, it's early yet. It's 9 o'clock. You'd better try to get some sleep in this afternoon. I'll take you back to the city and make arrangements for you to go someplace where you can have a nice rest.
What kind of a place?
Why, rest home. I know a nice, quiet place.
You don't mean a rest home. I know what you're thinking. You mean an asylum? You think I'm insane, both of you?
Now, Ambrose.
Well, why don't you say it?
Ambrose, if you don't control yourself, something will happen to you.
I won't go to an asylum. Do you hear? Do you hear me?
Stop it.
I won't stop it. You don't care about me. You're both cold and heartless. You want me to be locked up, both of you.
Ambrose, please. Please, calm down.
Keep away from him, Doris.
See? Keep away from him. He's a dangerous lunatic. A killer.
You don't calm down. I'll have to use force.
You try it. You just try it. I'm going out that door, and don't you try to stop me.
You run away like this, you stamp yourself as a hopeless lunatic. They'll find you.
They won't find me, and I won't be locked up.
Ambrose, please.
No, I'll kill myself first.
You're a fool, Ambrose. A mad fool.
Now you've done it, Ambrose. You've really made a mess of things. You're a fugitive now. They'll throw out a dragnet. You'll have to run and hide and sneak, afraid of every shadow. You'll have to run, Ambrose. Hide and sneak and run for the rest of your days. Ambrose Brent, fugitive.
Ambrose Brent, 5 feet 8, 150 pounds. Brown hair. Blue eyes. Wanted for murder.
Fugitive. Lunatic. Padded cell. Lunatic. Padded cell. Lunatic.
Hurry, Ambrose, hurry. More gas. Step on it.
What's that?
A sign, Ambrose, and a red flag swinging in the road. 2 men in black rubber coats. Too late to turn around now.
What's your hurry, mister? Driving pretty fast for a storm like this, ain't you?
Who are you? What do you want?
State police.
What are you stopping me for?
We're stopping everybody.
Why?
We're looking for someone.
Looking for someone? Who?
A fugitive.
A murderer?
We didn't say what he'd done. Let's have a look at your driver's license.
Driver's license? Why, that's funny. I must have...
left it in your other suit, huh? Step out. Let's have a look at you.
Hey, you come back here!
What's eating him? He must be nuts. Why, I could have plugged him, but I just shot in the air. Just as well. He wasn't Mike Coretti. I could make 2 of him.
Know where you are now? Recognize this room? That's right. It's the room of death, where Henry was murdered the night before. His body has been removed, but the pad on his desk is still there, smeared with a large brown stain. There are 5 people in the room: Dr. Fenwick and Doris Brent, Jameson the Brent's butler, Inspector Fields, and Carnes of the District Attorney's office. The inspector is speaking.
District Attorney Carnes had an appointment with Henry Pierce. It was he who discovered the body this morning. Pierce had been dead about 7 hours. Right, Mr. Carnes?
That's right, Inspector Fields.
We attempted to reach Mr. Brent and were told by Jameson, the butler, that he left town at 2 in the morning. He told us about the place in the mountains, and there we reached you, Mrs. Brent.
You've no idea where your husband is, Mrs. Brent?
Not the slightest.
Your butler said you had gone to Palm Beach.
Yes, I started for Palm Beach, but I changed my mind and went to the mountains.
And your husband came there last night?
Yes, it was about 5 in the morning.
About 9 o'clock. I flew up to the cabin, got there a few minutes before 9.
Why did you go there, Doctor?
Well, I advised Ambrose to take a rest. He's been working too hard and was heading for a nervous breakdown. When I learned of Henry's death, I went to tell him about it.
Doctor, you visited Henry Pierce here last evening.
I did. He phoned me to come over. I got here about 11. He'd made a new will and wanted me to witness it and asked if I would serve as executor. I read it and signed it.
I see. In whose favor was the will drawn?
Well, the old will left everything to Ambrose. Henry had no living relative. But because of Ambrose's mental condition, he decided to leave everything to Doris, Mrs. Brent.
That's correct. I found the will on the desk.
Was Ambrose Brent your patient?
Yes, of course.
What was his trouble?
Too much work. He had a great responsibility.
Did you think he was losing his mind?
No.
Did he think so?
Well, he was terribly upset. He'd been having hallucinations.
Doctor, when was the last time you saw him prior to finding him in the mountains?
The evening before Henry died. I wrote him a prescription.
Mm-hmm. And where did you go after you left Henry Pierce last night?
I told my servants that I was going out of town for a holiday, but it was storming so when I left Henry that I decided to stay at my club.
Mrs. Brent, did your husband, Mr. Pierce, ever quarrel?
Not to my knowledge. They were the best of friends.
I see. Have you told us all you know, Dr. Fenby?
No.
Then I think you should. What was it that bothered Ambrose Brent?
Well, he said he had been writing himself notes. They were all alike, in his own handwriting, and all said the same thing. I must kill Henry.
I didn't know this.
Certainly not. That was the patient's private business. I thought that if I could get him away for arrest, he'd pull out of it.
There you are, Carnes. Must have been on his mind.
Yes, but what's the motive?
An unbalanced mind doesn't always need a motive.
Then you think Ambrose did it?
He loved Henry like a brother. If he did it, he was completely out of his mind. Believe me.
Ambrose.
What? Well, thank heaven. You finally came to your senses.
Come in, Mr. Brent.
I suppose you want to see me? I'm Inspector Fields, Police Department. This is Mr. Carnes of the District Attorney's Office.
Yes, I know Mr. Carnes.
I thought you'd gone on a little vacation, Mr. Brent.
I had gone, but not on a vacation.
Mr. Pierce told me you'd gone for a couple of weeks.
I was going on a vacation, but something changed my mind.
Oh? What was that?
You know. You know why I've come back. Henry's dead, and I killed him.
When did you kill him?
I don't know. Must have been last night.
Why did you do it?
I wish I knew. I recall neither the crime nor the motive. But I'm sure I did it.
Why are you so sure you did it?
Because of these notes, 6 of them. I've been writing notes to myself for weeks. Read them.
Are they in your own handwriting?
Certainly. But I don't remember writing a one. I must have some form of amnesia.
Hmm?
When I heard Henry was dead, I tried to run away. I couldn't stand the thought of an asylum, but the faster I ran, the more I hated myself, so I came back to get it over with. It's a great relief.
Now, Mr. Brent, compose yourself. Mr. Brent, did you know that Henry Pierce made a new will last night, leaving his estate to your wife?
What? Why should he do that?
Well, perhaps he was worried about you.
Of course. Why shouldn't he be? He knew I was acting strangely.
Take a look at this will. Is that Henry's signature?
Certainly.
You're sure it isn't your writing?
It is not. I couldn't copy his signature if I tried. It's just a bunch of scrawls.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mr. Brent, take this pad and write on it, I must kill Henry.
Please, isn't that being a bit brutal?
Go ahead, write it.
There you are.
Good. Now write the date.
They weren't dated.
Well, write it anyway. Write the date in numerals. Don't name the month.
There it is.
Thank you. Now you write the same, Mrs. Brent.
There.
Thanks. Now you, Dr. Fenton.
There you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, the notes you got were certainly in your own handwriting, Mr. Brent.
I told you that. Why waste so much time? I came back to get it over with. I'm tired.
There, you need some sleep, old man. You'll feel better after you've had a nap.
I can't sleep. I haven't slept for days.
You should have. You've been taking that medicine I gave you.
I didn't get it. I didn't want to sleep. I just wanted to get away. Here's the prescription, still in my pocket.
Prescription? May I see it, please? Thank you. What is this medicine, Doctor?
It's intended to induce sleep, but he's so stubborn he wouldn't take it. If he had, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh. Inspector, take a look at this note written just now by Mr. Brent.
I must kill Henry.
And the date.
5/14/42.
May the 14th, 1942. Now, Mrs. Brent's note.
I must kill Henry. 5/14/42. The same.
Mm-hmm. And now Dr. Fenwick's.
I must kill Henry. 14/5/42.
Now read the date on the will.
14/5/42. What does that mean? There aren't 14 months.
And now look at the date on this prescription.
14/5/42. Well, I'll be darned. What does it mean?
It means that Dr. Fenwick was educated in Europe, where they indicate the day of the month first, then the month. The 14th day of the 5th month.
What? Well, you're crazy. Are you accusing me of this?
It means that the doctor, not Henry, wrote this will, and if he wrote the will, he must have killed Henry Pierce. And if he killed Henry, he must have had a motive. And I've guessed that motive.
You're out of your mind. What motive would I have?
You also wrote those notes and left them for Ambrose to find. You're an expert at handwriting, Dr. Fenwick. You figured that Ambrose would be declared insane, and Henry's as well as Ambrose's property would go to Doris with you as executor in complete control.
I don't believe it. Ridiculous.
And this is what I hate to say at this moment, but I think it's true. Dr. Fenwick, tell him about you and Mrs. Brent.
That's a lie.
Tell him, Doctor. That's what's back of the whole thing. You're stuck. You might as well tell him.
All right. All right, I wrote the will. I wrote the notes. I am in love with Doris. I have been for years. She was in love with me.
Doris.
I'm sorry, Henry.
But she had nothing to do with Henry's death. Not a thing. I came here that night disguised as Ambrose. Henry didn't hear my voice. I only whispered. He thought it was you. That's all. Sorry, Doris.
Stop him!
Good Lord. Well, the doctor is dead.
The doctor's dead, yes. But that's not all, not quite. There's something troubling the inspector, and you, Ambrose, and you too, Doris. How was it that Mr. Carnes first got wise to the doctor? How did the doctor slip up? How did he show his hand? I know. And so does District Attorney Carnes. Go ahead, Mr. Carnes. Tell us.
Well, the doctor said he had gone to the cabin to tell Ambrose of Henry's death. He arrived at the cabin at 9 a.m. I didn't discover the body till 10 a.m. and gave strict orders that it was not to be announced until we'd inspected everything thoroughly. Therefore, the only way the doctor could have known about the murder was to have been present when it happened.
So you see, the doctor didn't go to the cabin to inform Ambrose. He went there to meet Doris. And when he was surprised by Ambrose, he used the death of Henry as an excuse for his coming.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Tonight's Whistler story was written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originated from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you the incredible story of the Draft of Death. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. Have you heard the weird tales of the Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
Gentlemen, we 7 scientists have banded together because the government of Austria is in deadly peril. We have evidence that Austria is being dangerously undermined by the Nazis.
and that nothing is being done from the standpoint of the law to prevent it. We have therefore resolved to take measures into our own hands and prevent this chaos. At our next meeting, we shall present the names of those in high places who attempt to divide and conquer, and shall decide then as to what action shall be taken against them.
And such was the organization in which Hans Minkler, the young, mild-mannered biologist of Vienna, suddenly found himself a member. Hans Minkler, whose whole life was dedicated to the preservation and the saving of human life. Hans Minkler, referred to by his classmates as the man who couldn't kill a fly.
Saturday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the incredible tale of The Letter. Hans Minkler, the young biologist, only half heard the speech of the leader of the 7 scientists, for Hans was dreaming of his beloved experiments. His experiments and the pretty niece of Monsieur Gallet, the lovely Viel, who had been living in Vienna these past 4 years. Kindly Monsieur Gallet was interested in Hans Minkler's theories, and Hans was hoping Gallet might finance them.
Well, Dr. Minkler, I've studied the outline of your proposed experiments, and I've come to the conclusion that you can accomplish great things.
Oh, well, that makes me very happy, Monsieur Gallet.
How much do you think you'll need to carry on?
I feel quite sure that I could get along for a couple of years on 5,000. If my cell experiments prove successful, human life may be prolonged considerably.
I have all the faith in the world in Hans, Uncle.
My niece is certainly sold on your ability, Dr. Minkler.
So are you, Uncle. You may as well admit it.
Young men with your principles are all too scarce today. Europe seems to be saturated with men who claim they want to save mankind. They all seem to want to arrive at it through a destructive method.
Well, it's only a temporary condition.
Who do you plan to have assist you? Kurt Lassner?
Kurt? Well, I haven't decided yet.
Kurt is a fine young man.
Yes, he was a good student, but he's drifted away from his studies. He's become absorbed in politics.
Very well, Hans. I'll start you out with 5,000. Is that the way you want it, Viel?
Yes, Uncle, you're a darling.
I hope that someday I may be able to repay you.
See where that is, Viel. Come into the library, Hans. I'll give you a check.
Yes, of course.
Oh, good evening, Kurt.
Hello, Viel. Well, how are you?
Very well, Kurt.
You're very lovely this evening.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. The prettiest girl in Vienna. Is Hans here? I said I'd pick him up on my way downtown.
Yes, he's talking to Uncle. Talking business.
I've had a busy day. Not enough hours to go around.
Sit down, Kurt.
Thanks.
Kurt, why have you given up your career?
Biology? Oh, I don't know.
But you could do so much good. You were so well equipped to carry on in science. Think of the things yet to be done.
I'm going to do things. Great things.
I mean things that will really benefit mankind.
Well, that's what I mean, too. You know, you sound like Hans.
Hans is very sad about your dropping your work. He counted on your helping him in his experiments.
Oh, he'll get over it. Besides, those experiments can wait a while.
No, Hans is going ahead.
Who's going to help him?
I am, if no one else.
You? Well, how can you help him?
I can learn biology.
But it'll take a lot of money to do what he plans.
He has the money. It's all arranged. My uncle has financed him.
Your uncle?
Yes.
Well, I wish Hans luck.
And I'm going to marry Hans.
What? You and Hans? Well, what a surprise.
Yes, I've made up my mind.
I see. Well, I guess...
Good evening, Kurt. Glad to see you.
Good evening.
Hello, Kurt. Oh, have you heard the good news?
Yes, Viel just told me. And I wish you both good luck. I hope you'll be very happy. When's the wedding?
Wedding? What wedding? Oh, yes. Me, of course.
Typical absent-minded professor.
See, look, I have the money for my experiments.
Well, Hans, it's 7:45. We better run along. We have an appointment at 8.
Oh, yes, the meeting. I'd forgotten. Yes, I'll be right with you. Goodbye, monsieur.
Bye.
Good night, Viel. Darling.
Good night, Hans, dear. I'll see you in the morning.
So Hans Minkler reluctantly attends his second meeting, and with Kurt Lassner joins the 5 scientists in the darkened room. The single low lamp on the table casts their shadows on the wall. The leader is speaking again.
Gentlemen, we have learned who these fifth columnists are. So it is our duty as loyal citizens to take action against these men. We have learned who the leader is, and naturally he must be the first one to go. In this envelope I have his name. We will now draw lots to select the one among us to carry out instructions which will be read later. Are you ready with the straws, Kurt Lassner?
Ready, sir.
This is an old and simple method, but since there are only 7 of us, it will suffice. Proceed, Kurt.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of us have drawn, sir.
Good. Here's the envelope containing the name of our victim. Who has the short straw?
Well, I guess I have.
Hans Minkler. Here's the envelope. But before you open it, we must tell you what the committee has decided to do about this man. He is to die.
Die?
And that task has fallen to you.
You mean this man is to be murdered?
Exactly.
What? You don't know me, gentlemen. I'm a saver of life. I wouldn't consider such a thing for a moment.
Herr Minkler, you are a member of this group. You know our secrets. It will be best for us and for you if you completely forget your scruples.
Oh, but I can't belong to a society with such diabolical purposes. Why, I didn't realize what this was all about. Oh, no, I withdraw.
It's too late to think about withdrawing.
Do you mean that you actually expect me to kill someone?
You have been selected.
You are fools. I couldn't kill a fly. I couldn't harm a living thing if the whole country went up in smoke. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. You're not scientists. You're a band of madmen. Fiends.
Sit down, Hans Minkler. We're not a band of madmen, and we are not fiends. We are loyal patriots of Austria who are determined to save our country. Any one of us might have drawn that straw.
Well, I don't want to be a party to such a plan. I'll not commit murder.
Unfortunately, you know too much about us now to pull out.
And suppose I refuse?
Then you will accomplish nothing. Not only will we eradicate our selected victim, but we'll see to it that you are eradicated with him.
Who is this victim?
Open the envelope.
Very well. What? Why, you are insane. The whole lot of you. Monsieur Gallet is the soul of honor. Monsieur Gallet is one of the most honest men I've ever met.
Monsieur Gallet is the leader of the Nazi party.
I don't believe it. Why, I'm to marry his niece.
Did you say Monsieur Gallet?
Yes, you know that's ridiculous, Court. He'd never do such a thing.
Gallet is the leader. We have proof. He also has a very lovely niece. And I'm sure you'd want nothing to happen to her. Would you, Herr Minkler?
No. No, I wouldn't. But you must give me time. Time to think.
There is nothing to think about. It has been decided. Gallet must be exterminated within 12 hours.
Very well. And there's nothing else for me to do. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Herr Minkler. And remember, if you don't accomplish this task within 12 hours, we will be forced to take care of you. And if we can't find you, we will find the girl.
Yes, I understand. Good night.
Well, Hans, what are you going to do about it? You've sat in your apartment for 2 hours now. Which shall it be? 3 lives are at stake. The uncle's and yours and Viel's. Hans gets his car and drives to Monsieur Gallet's home.
Well, hello, Hans. What on earth are you doing here? I didn't expect you back this evening.
Where is Viel?
Why, she went to some friends. She probably won't be back till after midnight. What on earth's wrong with you?
Get your hat and coat, Monsieur Gallet.
What? Have you been drinking, Hans?
Get your hat and coat.
Now, wait a minute. Suppose you explain.
There's no time for explanations. Get your things.
What for?
You're coming with me.
I was just ready to turn in. You better run along, Hans. You'll feel better in the morning.
Put up your hands, Monsieur Gallet.
What? This is the funniest thing I've ever encountered. Have you really got a gun in your pocket?
I have. I hope you don't force me to prove it.
Well, this is certainly a surprise. The meaning of all this?
I've just discovered that you're the leader of the Nazis who are trying to undermine the Austrian government.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Who told you such a thing?
There's an organization which is determined to eradicate all Nazis one by one, and you are the leader. Read this. It says leader Paul Gallet. Death.
This is the maddest thing I've ever heard of. I've been highly active in anti-Nazi work.
They say that's merely a cover-up.
Are you a member of this secret organization?
Yes.
You've been selected to kill me?
Yes.
It's unbelievable that you, Hans Minkler, could be mixed up in such a thing. I think you're being hoodwinked. I am an anti-Nazi. If you plan to kill me, you must belong to the Nazi organization.
Get your things and come along.
What do you intend to do with me?
That's all planned. Come along.
Very well. You, give me that gun.
You fool.
No.
You don't. Monsieur. Good Lord.
Hans stands staring at the body of Monsieur Gallet for a few moments. Then, in a daze, he turns out the lights, closes the library door, and returns to his apartment. For the remainder of the night, he sits at his desk staring into the darkness, lost in thought. And then morning comes, and Viel at her home opens the library door and...
Well, he's been dead about 8 hours, Fräulein.
Who on earth would do such a thing? He had no enemies.
He was quite active in anti-Nazi work.
Yes.
Here's something we found on the library floor.
A pipe?
Yes. The bowl is hand-carved, has initials on it. As you see, the stem is broken. Have you ever seen this pipe before?
Well, I don't remember.
There's something else we found, a note, which reads, Leader Paul Gallet, death. Do you recognize the handwriting?
No.
Do you know anyone whose initials are HM, the initials carved on the pipe bowl?
Yes, the pipe belongs to my fiancé, Hans Minkler.
Your fiancé. What time did you return home last night?
I attended a party and got here about 1 o'clock. I supposed Uncle was in bed. I didn't look in the library. I went straight to my room.
What is Hans Minkler's address?
I'm sure Hans had nothing to do with this.
Are you?
He lives at 13 Cronhead Street.
I'll run over there. Please don't touch anything in the library.
I won't.
Good morning.
Kurt, something terrible's happened. Uncle was murdered last night. The police have just left. They found Hans's pipe on the library floor. It was broken. They've gone to his apartment. Please come over right away.
Hello, Hans. This is Kurt. The police found your pipe in Gallet's library. They're on their way to your place. You've got to get out of the country immediately. Don't wait a moment.
Oh, Kurt is terrible.
Now, control yourself, Ian.
Oh, Kurt, I can't imagine why anyone would do such a thing. Kurt, do you know where Hans is?
Well, I suppose he's at his apartment. Hasn't he called you this morning?
He usually does, but he hasn't. They found Hans's broken pipe near Uncle's body. Kurt, I must warn Hans. I must let him know what's happened.
Hans' pipe, huh? Yeah, that's bad. By all means, phone him at once.
Oh, you call him.
Of course.
It's Kronigstadt 4347.
Right. It's ringing.
He must be there.
Oh, he would have answered by now.
Where could he be?
I haven't the slightest idea.
But he always calls me before this. Kurt, it isn't possible. It can't be.
Now, just try to control yourself, Yale.
Oh, see who it is, Kurt.
Special delivery. Sign here, please.
Oh, thank you.
Who's it for?
For you.
Kurt. It's from Hans. Good heavens, read it.
Leaving Vienna on important business. Contact me at 16 Rue de Roche, Paris, under name of Pierre Cabot, H.N.
Well, I don't understand it. What does he mean? What important business? Why should he disappear like this?
I've no idea, but it does look strange. Your uncle is murdered and Hans disappears. Oh, but what motive could he have had?
But they found his pipe near Uncle's body.
You know Hans had nothing to do with it. I'll admit he's always been rather peculiar, never seemed to let loose, always seemed to be on his guard, but Well, I can think of no reason for this.
What could this important business be? He never told me of it. And why on earth should he go to Paris under an assumed name?
That is strange.
Kurt, that officer said something.
What?
Well, you know that Uncle was active in anti-Nazi work. Do you suppose it could be a Nazi?
Well, why not? But who? Who do we know that's a Nazi? I certainly
Wait
don't.
a minute. You just said that you felt Hans was always on his guard. Do you mean you felt he was concealing something?
Well, there have been times when I've felt that, but on the whole, I've thought of him as a slow-thinking, absent-minded professor.
But it does seem strange that the moment Uncle gave him the check, that this should happen and he should disappear.
Well, maybe he went to visit our old pal, Jean Renaud. You remember Jean? He was one of our classmates.
But I have a strange feeling that Hans wouldn't go away like this without telling me beforehand, unless something were wrong. Do you suppose that Hans has been deceiving us all along?
What makes you ask that?
Well, it suddenly occurred to me that he spoke French without the trace of an accent. And I remember Jean Renaud said once that he spoke English without an accent.
So what?
Well, if he did, where did he learn to do that? Certainly not by living in Vienna all his life.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Why didn't he tell me beforehand that he was leaving?
But he wrote you this letter.
Yes, but it wasn't written by the Hans I know.
Oh, I think you'd better forget about it.
Good. I didn't tell you this. The police found a note on the floor. It said, Leader Paul Gallet, death. It must have meant that Uncle was an anti-Nazi leader and he was sentenced to die. And if this ties in with Hans' disappearance, then Hans must have been connected with the Nazis.
Oh, darling, you're getting yourself all worked up.
You don't think Hans was a Nazi?
Well, I'll admit the way you've got it all worked out, it sounds plausible, but if he was a Nazi and he's left the country, what can we do about it? He won't come back.
But why should he go to Paris?
Well, Jean Renaud was a good friend of ours. I'm sure Jean knows nothing about Hans being a Nazi. Jean would never suspect him. Maybe Paris is his next assignment. Nazis are just as busy in France as they are here. Let's see that letter from Hans. He says here, contact me, 16 Rue de Roche, Paris. That's Renaud's address, 16 Rue de Roche.
Oh, good. I just can't believe it. How could I have been such a fool?
I'll see who it is, darling.
I'm Captain Gruber from Police Headquarters.
Oh, come in, Captain.
Sorry to trouble you again, Fräulein, but we went to Herr Minkler's apartment. He wasn't there.
He wasn't.
His car has not been in the garage all night.
That's strange.
We found this writing on the notepad on his desk. Is it his handwriting?
Yes.
He's written the same two words over and over again, Gallet and Villiers, as though he tried to make up his mind about something.
But what's become of his car?
The car's been found.
Where?
In a public garage. From all indications, Minkler's left the country. Probably for France.
Oh, why France?
We've discovered that Hans Minkler is a French citizen.
A French citizen? Well, he always led us to believe that he was a native Austrian.
Now, we'll want to check things over a little further. We'll be back this afternoon. Please don't disturb anything.
No, we won't.
By the way, what is your name, sir?
Oh, my name is Kurt Lasner.
Good day.
Kurt, what did you see? What were you looking at just then?
Well, what do you mean?
What startled you on Uncle's desk?
Well, nothing at all.
Here, let me see. Good heavens, I see it. Here on the desk blotter, Uncle's handwriting, it says, Find Hans Minkler. And it was Hans. It was. Uncle was trying to tell us who did it.
Maybe.
To think that he could be so low as to take Uncle's money and then kill him.
Oh, please, Viel.
I just can't believe it. I won't believe it. I mustn't.
Well, I'm sorry to say that all the evidence is certainly against him. Oh, come, Viel. Try to get this off your mind. Try to get some rest. The police will take care of everything.
Oh, yes, good. I guess you're right.
If Hans did do it, he'll pay. He's the one who'll do the suffering. Believe me.
But during the night, the Nazi hordes rolled swiftly into Austria. Without firing a shot, took over the reins of government. A few weeks later, France declared war. Then one night, Hans Minkler makes his way through the maze of Paris traffic and knocks at the door of number 16 Rue de Roche.
Oh, yes? Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
Is Jean Renault in?
Who shall I say is calling?
By, Pierre Cabot.
Won't you come in, Monsieur Cabot? Major Renault has just stepped out. He'll be back shortly. Was he expecting you?
No. Did you say Major Renault?
Yes. Since war has been declared, he's gone on the active service list.
Oh, I see. I've been phoning for a week, but no one answered.
You haven't seen the Major in some time?
No, I haven't. I've been in Austria for several years. Renault and I went to school together in Vienna.
Oh. Are you by any chance Hans Minkler?
How did you know that?
Why are you traveling incognito?
Well, where is Renault?
I regret to inform you that Renault has been in Africa for some time. He's due back in a few weeks, however. Did you know Monsieur Gallet in Vienna?
Yes. Who are you?
I'm Monsieur Deveau, of the French Sûreté.
Oh, police.
Yes. Did you ever accept any money from Monsieur Gallet?
Why are you asking me these questions?
You never accepted money from Gallet?
No.
Search him, Henri.
Oh, just a moment.
Sorry, Minkler. I'll take the bill for Larry.
Yes, sir. I don't understand all this.
You understand, all right. Well, so you never received money from Gallet. What's this check for?
Well, that's to help carry on my experiments.
Undoubtedly. Monsieur Gallet was helping you and quite a number of others to carry on experiments.
Others?
I suppose you say you're new at this game.
Game? I don't know what you mean. I had nothing to do with his death. Nothing.
Yes, I believe that. Why should you kill one of your own?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
If you were intending to carry on experiments in Vienna, why is this check drawn on the Bank of Paris?
Well, maybe he had a surplus of funds here.
Indeed, he did.
How did you know I was coming here?
We knew. Just what were your plans?
Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm not a spy. I was engaged to marry Gallet's niece.
Really?
Some way I got mixed up with an organization which planned to rid Austria of all Nazis. They claimed that Monsieur Gallet was the leader in Vienna. I denied it. But nevertheless, I was selected to murder.
Oh, I see.
I'm told that if I refused, they'd also kill me and my fiancée as well. I decided to get them out of the country. I went to Gallet's home. My fiancée was not there. I knew there was no time to lose. So I tried to take him away by force. He was suspicious. I mean, we suddenly got into a scuffle. And then someone behind me fired a gun. I don't know who it was. And Gallet fell dead.
I see.
I went to my home. Next morning, learned that they were looking for me. I got out of the country, and in a roundabout way, I came to Paris.
A good story. But it doesn't hold water. Gallet was a Nazi leader, and there's too much evidence against you, Minkler. Come on. Let's go down to headquarters.
2 weeks later, Jean Renault returns to Paris. Then, 6 weeks after Austria surrenders, Kurt and Viel escape from the Nazis and make their way to Paris. Jean Renault meets Kurt on the street and asks him to bring Viel to visit him at 16 Rue de Roche.
Come in, Kurt. Well, Viel. It's been a long time. How are you?
Excellent, thank you.
So you two are married. Well, my congratulations. Though I didn't expect it to work out quite this way.
No? Why not?
Well, I always had an idea that you might marry Hans Minkler.
Well, one never knows.
No, Kurt. One never does.
By the way, have you seen Hans? He's in Paris, been here for several weeks.
Has he?
Yes. Don't tell me you haven't seen him.
Well, he told us he was coming to visit you.
Oh, yes. He's in Paris. I wasn't here when he arrived. He left several notes. I found them when I returned.
But do you know where he is now?
Yes. Would you like to see him?
Yes, I would.
Hans is dead.
Dead?
What? Dead?
Yes. He was executed as a Nazi spy.
A Nazi spy?
Yes. I got here too late to help him. They had conclusive evidence against him.
Why, that's ridiculous.
Hans is dead, nevertheless.
But what happened?
Well, it seems Hans got into some trouble in Vienna and came to Paris to see me. In some way, the Sûreté here was informed that he was a Nazi, was coming here to carry on.
But who on earth would accuse Hans of such a thing?
I wonder. But they received a letter from Vienna accusing Hans. The Sûreté found a check on him from a high Nazi official. There was nothing that could save him.
A check from a high Nazi official? Who was the official?
Paul Gallet, Vier's uncle.
What?
Didn't you know about your uncle?
I don't believe it.
Whether you do or not, he was a Nazi. The Secret Service has known it for years. He may or may not have given the check to Hans for Nazi purposes. But the evidence was against Hans. Then the letter came to the Sûreté saying Hans was a Nazi agent. They found him here, arrested him. That's all there was to it.
But who would write such a letter? Hans had no enemies.
Would you like to read the letter?
Yes.
Here it is.
Hans Minkler, under alias of Pierre Cabot, has given evidence of being a Nazi spy. Locate him at 16 Rue de Roche, Paris.
And that's all that was necessary.
How awful. I can't imagine such a thing.
Notice the handwriting, Kurt.
What? Ah, yes. Viel. This is your handwriting.
It is not.
I'm positive. You wrote this.
No.
Don't lie to me. I know your writing. You wrote this letter.
All right. All right, I did. I was convinced that he'd deceived me. I was convinced he killed Uncle. Yes, I wrote it.
How could you?
Oh, I never dreamed Uncle was a Nazi. I thought Hans was a Nazi. I was determined to make him suffer. You believe me, don't you?
Yes, Viel. I believe you. But I'm awfully, awfully sorry for you.
Oh, poor Hans. Poor Hans. Oh, I'll never forgive myself.
Yes, Viel. What a terrible injustice you have done. But someday, perhaps you'll learn what really happened to your uncle. It wasn't Hans who killed him. Hans didn't even have a gun, just a pipe. But Hans wanted to get him safely out of the country. And Kurt knew that Hans would never go through with the order of the Secret Seven. So he followed Hans. And when he saw what was happening, he shot Gallet and disappeared and let you think Hans did it. Because Kurt was in love with you, too, Viel.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you the strange tale of Out of the Fog. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wait a minute. Have you heard The Whistler? I'm The Whistler.
No. Don't come near me. I didn't plan to kill you, no.
That was John Henry. He waited for a chance to sell his soul to the devil.
Money is not enough, John. Money is not enough. We want you, John. We want you.
That was his wife, Martha, the former widow Marsden.
Yes, Mother. Yes.
And her simple-minded son, Henry.
Go ahead, son. Go ahead. We must have John Henry. Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother.
Tonight, CBS presents a new mystery series, The Whistler. And I, the whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. And so I tell you tonight the strange story of Retribution. Gaze up this muddy, rain-splattered road. A small, lonely stone building appears against the lightning-streaked sky. The dismal courthouse of a southern village. The village of Marsdenburg. It is nearly midnight. A trial is in progress. A murder trial. John Hendricks is on trial for his life. The state versus Hendricks. Killed his wife and stepson. He killed his wife and her simple-minded son, Henry, for the $10,000 in cash she kept in her big house on the outskirts of town. Open the door. There he stands, John Hendricks, a huge, silent man of 50, large, bony hands. Close the door. Well, what do you think? Does he look like a murderer? The prosecutor is closing his argument.
Ladies and gentlemen
Listen.
of the jury, it has been proven that Mrs. Hendricks had no current bank account. It has been proven that she did have a large sum of money which she kept on her estate. John Hendricks knew of this money and attempted to steal it, was caught in the act, and killed them both in order to cover up the theft. It was not a tramp who killed that old gray-haired lady and her simple son. There was only one intruder, one thief, one murderer. And there he sits, ladies and gentlemen. There he sits in all his guilt, a vicious killer, a murderer. There is only one decision for you to make. There is only one penalty that can erase from this countryside the stigma of this fiendish crime. One penalty for this axe murderer, John Hendricks. And that penalty is death. The state rests.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict? Have you reached a verdict?
Your Honor, we, the jury, due to lack of more complete evidence, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree.
Second degree. Cheated death. You'll get life. Surprised? Of course you are. But it had to be. Yes, it had to be. I know.
John Hendricks, stand up.
Yes, John, stand up. Face the court. Watch him now. He's on his feet.
John Hendricks, I wish to state that I am not in accord with the findings of this jury. However, there's nothing for me to do but sentence you to the state penitentiary for the remainder of your natural life.
Know where you are now? Recognize that huge, sprawling stone structure with the high walls around it? State penitentiary. How much later? 10 years. If John Hendricks is in there, he has a number now. It is 1013. Let's go through the gates. Up the steps. Down the corridor. Here we are in cell block 2. Night again. It just turned in. This has been going on for 10 years for John Hendricks, 1013, and his cellmate Bill, 1014. Bill, 1014, is a gangster, or rather, he was. But he's changed during the 5 years he's been here. Bill has decided to go straight if he ever gets out, which is very doubtful. But he holds no resentment, has become more or less happy. Bill started reading here, philosophy and so forth. He's changed. But what about John Hendricks? Oh, no. Not Hendricks. Because he has a plan. He has a purpose. Move closer to the cell door and listen.
All I got to say, Bill, is I think you're crazy enough to make the trial with me.
That's a matter of opinion, John.
But it'll be simple. I got everything all set. It's all fixed. Not a chance of a slip up.
All fixed? Who with?
Well, a friend of mine.
Oh, I see.
crooked guard.
No, he ain't a guard.
Don't tell me you got it fixed with a warden.
What difference does it make who it is so long as the whole thing is set and fixed?
Well, you've got to have some help, inside or out. Oh, Hendricks, I think you're nuts. Stir crazy.
I'm getting out of this place. I got a reason, a good reason. I got something waiting for me outside, something I can enjoy, something that belongs to me. I'm the only one that knows where it is, and I'm going out. You're in here for a good long time, brother, and if you don't want to go with me, you can stay and rot.
Look, Hendricks, I still think you're nuts.
All right, what of it? I got the right dope, ain't I? And it'll work.
Suppose it does. Suppose you find this money hidden away on the old lady's estate. What good will it do you? You killed her and her son to get it, didn't you?
That's a lie. I didn't. Didn't kill anybody.
I say you did.
It ain't true, not a word of it. But I know where the money is.
Okay, you can break out. You can have the money, but... Well, I've done a lot of reading and thinking since I've been here.
Ah, you gone soft.
Maybe so. But I know this much now. If I ever do get out, I'll do things a lot different. Believe me, Hendricks, I'll tread the straight and narrow. I've done a lot of things that I'm sure sorry for now. I can't undo them. But I won't do them again. No, sir, I'll do things different. Not the way I did them before.
Ah, you just got religion, but it won't get you out.
Maybe not, but I'm resigned. I got exactly what's coming to me. And believe me, Hendricks, so will you. So will you. If you break out, they'll have you back one way or another. You watch and see.
Well, I'm going, so you watch and see. Watch and see.
Now, another storm. Another night, a lonely country road, a car. We're in the south. That village we passed a few miles back, that silent, sleeping village, was Marsdenburg. Yes, Marsdenburg, remember? That small, lonely stone building was the courthouse. The courthouse where John Hendricks was tried and convicted. We're on the outskirts now, on a lonely road. A young man is driving the old car, and there's a girl beside him. Motor trouble? Well, there, just ahead, a light. Yes, it's a little crossroads store. Pull in.
There's a light, but I don't see anybody. Oh, it's closed. We better drive on.
I guess you're right.
Good evening, folks. What's your trouble?
We're having motor trouble.
Oh, is it? What are you doing driving around on a night like this?
On our way west. Mister, is there an inn or something around here where we can stay for the night?
An inn? Yes, there's a place about 8 miles up the road. They'll probably put you up. There's a sign on the left-hand side of the road. Can't miss it. This road's pretty bad when it rains. Gotta be careful or you'll find yourself walking.
Thanks. We'll try. Good night.
Good luck, mister.
You'll need the luck.
The storm is increasing now. The muddy road sparkles in the flashes of lightning. The tall, dark trees sway back and forth in the fury of the storm like moaning, lost souls. The little car lurches and bounces in its fight to keep the center of the highway. 2 miles, 3 miles, 4, maybe 5, and look, there it is, straight ahead. On the right side of the road, a blue light. Ah, yes, that's it. Wait, George. Did the old man say on the right side or the left side of the road?
George, what's wrong?
I don't know. The distributor must have gotten wet.
Look, George.
What?
That blue light we saw, it's gone. Where is it?
We must have passed it.
Well, we couldn't have. I was looking right at it. It seemed as though it just disappeared in the thin air.
I'd better turn in here. This motor won't last much longer.
Guess so.
I can't see a thing.
No,
Can you?
It's certainly a desolate-looking place. There must be a house back in there. There it is. Look, there's a driveway. 20 feet ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, this motor's about to conk out. We'd better drive in and see what we can find.
Yes. Drive in, George. You'll find something. That's right. Through the gate. Make the curve. Hurry. There goes your motor. A little more. Now.
Oh, we just made it. Thank heaven.
Yes, that's right. Always thank heaven at a time like this. All right. Get out and go up on the porch.
Now, let me help you.
I'm all right. What do we do with the bags?
We'll leave them here in the car till we find out if there's anyone here. Come on.
You see a bell?
No, can't see a thing. Gee, this place looks completely deserted. I don't think anyone lives here.
I don't either. Let's go.
You're listening to The Whistler. We pause momentarily for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
George, let's don't knock. I don't like this place. Let's go on.
How, with a dead motor? Where could we go? I'll knock.
Well, all right.
Ah, that's right. Knock, George. Knock. Go ahead. Louder. Again.
We've got to have shelter.
Yes, we can't stay in that car any longer. Can we?
No, afraid not.
Here it comes. Now you're on your own, George. On your own.
There is someone.
Yes?
Oh.
Good evening.
What is it?
Well, you see, our car...
Yes, our car stalled.
And we can't go any farther, and it's such a terrible night out that we thought we could stop here for the evening.
Stop here?
Why, yes, we saw your light and...
Light? What light?
Why, the little neon out in front.
There is no light.
Well, have you a room?
Yes, there is a room.
Well, could we come in? I mean, it's awfully wet out here.
You may come in, if you wish.
Oh, thank you.
Well, this is quite a relief. We were afraid you'd closed up for the night, especially when all the lights were out.
Are the lights out?
Yes, you see. Huh?
Of course the lights are out.
Oh, I didn't know.
You do take tourists.
Do we?
Oh, yes, that's what they told us.
Who told you?
Well, the old man at the little store back at the crossroads.
Little store?
Yes, at the crossroad about 5 miles back. You know where the crossroad is, don't you?
There is no store at the crossroad.
There isn't?
No.
I see. Look, madam, would you mind turning on the lights? I can't see a thing.
We have no lights here.
No light?
Give me a flashlight, Jennifer. She means there's no electricity.
No. There is no light here.
Well, throw the flash around. There must be a lamp.
No. Don't make a light. We see well in the dark.
We? Who's we? Is there someone else in the house?
My son.
Oh, he's going to bed?
No. He is standing beside you.
Beside who?
You. Son.
Yes, Mother.
Oh!
Gee, give me that flashlight.
Got it. You got it.
Oh, yeah. Gee whiz. How long have you been standing there, Bub?
Since you came in.
Is that so? Well, I didn't see you. You make a noise like a spook.
Who are you? What is your name?
George Kimball. This is my wife, Joan. We're on our way west. We're travelers.
Travelers?
So are we.
What?
Quiet, son. Quiet.
No, let him talk. He's quiet enough.
How long have you folks been living here?
We lived here all our lives.
Say, how about closing the door?
Is the door open?
Why, of course it's... What?
George!
Now, take it easy, Joan. Don't get excited. Oh, look, madam, there's a candle on that table over there by the fireplace.
Is there?
Yes, and if you don't mind, I'm going to light it.
Please don't.
Oh, wait a minute. If you want us to stay here, we insist that we have some light. You want us to stay here, don't you?
Do we? Do we, son?
Yes, Mother.
What are you looking at me for?
Yes, Mother.
Without light?
Yes, Mother.
George, let's go. I don't want to stay here tonight. This place doesn't look good to me.
There has been no good here for many years.
See what I mean, George?
I don't get it. You don't seem to want us, yet your son does. How do you make any money that way?
We don't make money.
You don't? You mean you haven't had any guests lately?
No, not for many years.
Well, you can't expect any if you act like this.
But we do expect a guest. Don't we, son?
Yes, Mother. Well, he certainly has a surprise coming.
Yes, he has.
How many rooms have you?
There are many rooms, but only one.
Only one? That doesn't make sense. What do you mean?
Only one for guests.
You mean only one equipped?
Yes.
Well, then if you've got it reserved for this guest you expect, what are we going to do?
There is an inn farther along the road. They have rooms. They will take care of you. It will be best for us.
Our distributor got wet, so our car won't run.
Where is your car?
Right there at the foot of the steps.
I see no car.
You don't? Why, it's standing right... Joan.
George, where is it? It's gone.
Holy smoke, it is gone. But where? How? I didn't hear a sound. It must have rolled ahead.
Well, throw your light around.
Not a sign of it. Say, what goes on here?
Son.
Yes, Mother.
You move the car.
Yes, Mother.
I understand, son. I understand.
Wait a minute. Your son moved it? How could he? The motor won't even run. And even if it would, we didn't hear a sound.
No sound.
How did you move it?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a fine thing. Here we are in a place where they don't want us and no way of leaving. Well, you've got us on your hands now. You'll have to make the best of it.
No, George, no. We'll leave.
Nonsense. This is all silly. Come on, let's have some light and cut out the monkey business.
Wait. Son, what have we decided?
Yes, Mother. We decided yes.
Very well. If you wish. If you wish, you may stay. Stay until...
Until when?
All night?
Yes, Mother.
If you wish.
Oh, that's better. That's more like it. Now I'll light this candle. There we are.
George, look.
Well, look at the dust and the cobwebs. This place looks deserted, like an old cellar. Well, how about the room? Do we get it, or the guests you're expecting?
There is another room that will do, perhaps.
Well, could we see it?
Yes. And by the way, how much do you charge?
We charge nothing.
You charge nothing?
Nothing.
Sounds silly, but it's right for us. We're running short anyway. Well, let's see the room.
Very well. It is upstairs.
After you, madam.
No. You go first.
Very well. Come on, Joe. Bring that other candle.
Come, son. Follow me.
Yes, Mother.
I never saw so much dust.
Well, they must like it. You know, nice clean dust.
That room at the head of the stairs.
Why, this room was well furnished. Is this the room reserved for your expected guest?
No.
But you said you had only one room furnished. Who sleeps here?
I stay here now.
I see. Or do I?
It's a nice, soft bed.
It was always comfortable. We'll leave you now. Come, son. We must leave them alone now.
Yes, Mother. Leave them alone.
Good night.
Good night.
You will lock your door?
Huh? Oh, yes. We'll lock it.
Goodbye.
Say, did she say good night or goodbye?
I don't know. I thought she said... She did say goodbye.
Golly, what a screwy outfit. I wish we hadn't had car trouble. That's what we get for trying to drive in this storm.
How much money have we left?
Not much. Just enough to get to Los Angeles the way I figure. But once I get there, I know there'll be a job for me. We'll make it, don't worry. You'll see me in a nice job in Hollywood.
I'm not worried about seeing you in Hollywood.
No?
No. I'm just worried about seeing you in the morning.
The same night, but later. It's midnight. Another car on the same road. You know who it is. It's John Hendricks. and you know where he's going. He turns in at our deserted mansion, up the driveway, and stops. He steps out. Slips up the steps, opens the door, and throws his flash about the dusty room. Cobwebs glisten in the beam. A few moments, and the light comes to rest on the fireplace. He steps quickly to the mantel, draws a small hammer and chisel from his pocket, and sets to work removing a brick. Now he's finished. The brick is loose. He reaches in and withdraws a heavy yellow envelope. He starts to put it in his pocket, but suddenly freezes in his tracks. He can't move. He turns icy cold. Turn around, Hendricks. Turn around. Look. At the foot of the stairs across the room stands a woman holding a candle, and beside her a grinning youth holding an axe. Turn around, Hendricks. Look at their heads covered with blood. Turn around.
John Hendricks murderer. John Hendricks thief.
Martha.
Yes, John.
Henry.
Yes, John.
No.
We've come for you, John, the same way you came for us. We've been waiting for you, John. We knew you'd come back for the money. We've been waiting. We've come to take you, John.
No. Please don't come near me. Please.
You must suffer, John, as we have suffered.
I've suffered.
Not enough, John. Not enough.
I didn't mean to do it. I didn't plan to kill you. I went mad, lost my head. No. Don't come near me. You can have the money. You can have it.
Then give it to us, John. Give us the money. You won't need it now. Come, son. We must have the money, and we must take John. Come, son, come.
No. There's the money on the floor.
Money is not enough, John. Money is not enough. Go ahead, son. Go ahead. We must have John Hendricks, thief, murderer.
Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother.
No. I'll shoot.
Bullets won't stop us.
Good Lord, George. What was that?
I heard a scream. Downstairs.
So did I. And shots.
I'll open the door. It must have been downstairs. I don't see a thing.
Here's your flashlight.
Great Scott. Look. A man down there on the floor. Come on. He's dead.
Look at the gun.
It's been fired. But I don't see a mark on him.
Let's get out of here.
I'll say, come on.
No, you don't. Stand where you are.
George!
Cops.
What's going on here? Hand over that gun. Thanks. What are you doing here?
Well, we're stopping here. That is, we're just leaving.
I can see that. Know this man on the floor?
Know him? Yes.
Joan, what's the matter with you?
No, we don't.
Take
We
a
don't
look
know
at him,
him.
Frank. Yes, sir. What are you two doing here?
Why, we're guests.
Yes, we're both guests.
Guests? Who's guests?
Why, guests, lodgers, tourists, guests of the old lady.
What old lady?
The old lady that lives here, the old lady and her son.
You'll have to cook up a better one than that.
What do you mean?
Drive here? Where's your car?
The son took it.
Son, old lady, what are you talking about?
They live here. They said they owned this place. We had motor trouble, and they put us up for the night.
What about him, Frank?
Well, he isn't dead, breathing. Looks like he had a stroke or something. It's him, all right. John Hendricks.
Take a look around. See if there's anyone else here.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
George Kimball. This is my wife. We're on our way to California. Do you know who this man is?
Certainly. We've been on his trail. He's an escaped convict. This your gun?
No, sir.
Did he shoot at you?
No, sir.
You shoot at him? This gun's been fired, and we heard shots as we turned in the driveway.
Not a sight of anyone, sir. Nothing but dust and cobwebs.
Look, Campbell, you said there was an old lady and her son here.
Sure. They were here all evening.
They're not here now.
Well, they let us in and showed us to our room. They certainly were here.
What did the old lady look like?
Well, she had gray hair, wore a house dress and an apron.
What did the boy look like?
He was a big kid, about 20. Had a round, rosy face, and I think... Well, in fact, I know he was kind of simple-minded. He had a strange laugh, and he had red hair.
Well, I'll be darned. What do you think of that, Frank?
Golly, gives me the creeps.
Why so?
Do you know who you've just described?
No.
The old lady and her son who used to live here.
Used to live here?
Yeah. They were murdered here 10 years ago.
What?
Murdered?
Sure. This man on the floor was her husband, the boy's stepfather. He was tried for killing them with an axe and stealing her money and bonds. He got off with second degree because of lack of evidence. He escaped a week ago and headed this way. We've been on his trail ever since he entered this county. So you see, Kimball, if there was anybody else here tonight, it must have been a figment of your imagination. This house has been deserted for 10 years.
Oh, George.
Good Lord.
Look, Sergeant. Found this envelope on the back doorstep. It's the money.
Well, what do you know? The money and the bonds. Old Martha Hendricks' money. That's why Hendricks came here.
But where did they go? The old lady.
No place. Because they weren't here, Kimball. Well, better get them out of here and back to headquarters.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't leave us.
We won't. You're coming along, too.
Why?
We need you for a day or two. All right, let's get going, Frank. Come on.
But where did they go? We saw them. I know they were here.
Well, you certainly described them to a T, but don't worry too much about it, you know. Things like this can drive you nuts. You know what I mean? Things like this sometimes just happen. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, oh, come on, let's go before I get the heebie-jeebies.
What did he say? Things like this just sometimes happen? Just happen? Well, sometimes they do and can't be explained. But not this time. Oh, no, not this time. This can be explained. Remember John Hendrick's cellmate Bill number 1014? He can explain. He knows all about it because he planned it. Bill wanted the money. He'd learned all the dope from Hendricks. He sent his pals, the phony spooks, made up like the old lady and her son, to grab the money when Hendricks recovered it. Too bad they dropped it in their hurry to get away. Bill didn't want to hurt John. He wanted to scare him out of it. Remember? Bill 1014 had changed. He said he'd never do things the way he'd done them before. And he didn't. Bill meant what he said. Good night.
If this came upon you unaware and you listened, we've served our purpose. The Whistler, with original music composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch, is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time, The Whistler returns. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Signal Oil Program, The Whistler. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil Program, The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
Yes, friends, it's time for The Whistler. Rated by independent research, the most popular West Coast program in radio history. And remember, let every traffic signal remind you, with new Signal gasoline, you do go farther than ever. Look for the familiar big yellow and black circle sign. that identifies those popular signal service stations in 7 western states from Canada to Mexico. And now the Whistler's strange story, The Trigger Man.
He was young, brilliant, confident. He had everything it takes to make a successful lawyer. But no matter how you looked at it, law school graduates were a dime a dozen, regardless of how brilliant and confident they were. And Stella and the baby had to eat. So that's why Martin Lane took his first case from Branch Malone, the gambler, and got an acquittal for him, the first of a long line of acquittals. Yes, his old classmates threw up their hands, said he was selling his soul to the devil, but there was good money in it. And he kept telling himself he had to get a start somewhere, so he kept right on getting acquittals for Branch, and the money kept rolling in. But it had to end sometime, Martin. There had to be a payoff eventually.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
How do you find?
We find the defendant not guilty.
Very well. The clerk will record the verdict of the jury. The defendant is discharged from custody. Jury dismissed for the day. Court stands adjourned till tomorrow. Oh, Mr. Lane.
You wanted me, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Lane. I wanted to compliment you on the way you handled the case.
Well, I did my best, Your Honor.
It was more than enough.
Is that all, sir?
Mr. Lane, I know it isn't any business of mine.
What's that?
There's something I'd like to caution you about.
Oh?
I don't like to see a clean-cut young fellow like you getting mixed up regularly with an out-and-out criminal like Branch Malone.
I appreciate your interest in me, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm...
You're not impressed. Is that it? You've got what it takes, Mr. Lane, but I've seen it happen time and again. A boy gets a start, wants to go places, gets mixed up with a criminal crowd, and it's all over.
Is that all, Your Honor?
Yes, Lane, that's all.
Very well. Good day.
Good day.
Hello, Lane.
Oh, hello, Lieutenant.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You know, sometimes I'm sorry I'm on the force.
Yeah?
Yeah, fussing around with the small stuff like homicides when I could be doing some great work like you are. Upholding the right, rushing to defend poor innocent little guys like Branch Malone.
Well, there seems to be lecture day at the Hall of Justice.
Justice? You can buy and sell it like a sack of potatoes.
You better run along, Radigan. I've got an appointment.
Yeah, I saw him. Malone the Mighty. He's waiting outside with your payoff.
Okay, Radigan.
Just a minute, Martin. I got a tip for you about cops. Don't give us the brush off because one of these days you're going to need us. Guys who play bang-bang with the big boys usually do.
Suppose we make that our little thought for the day.
All right, Martin. It's all right.
Yes, Martin, you're on your way, aren't you? Another acquittal. Another $500 in your pocket. It doesn't matter much where it comes from, does it? His money's as good as anybody's. And that night, as you sit in the living room reading the paper, you try and reason it through and file it away. But it keeps coming back.
Stella.
Yes, Martin?
Is anything wrong?
No.
I thought something might be bothering you.
No, there's nothing, Martin.
I thought you'd be happy about the case and everything. We can buy that dining room set now.
Yes, we can.
It was an easy case. $500 for an afternoon's work. It's not bad.
No, not bad.
There's nothing to it. State's evidence was insufficient. One of their witnesses didn't show up.
Same as the time before.
Yeah.
And they found the witness at the bottom of the river 3 days later.
Well, I can't help that.
No, I suppose you can't.
Well, Stella, you're not suggesting I drop him, are you? For years I've sweated and struggled trying to make enough for you and Susan. It's my business to defend him. A lawyer isn't a criminal just because he defends a criminal. That's right, isn't it?
You're defending yourself now, aren't you?
now, wait a minute. I'm not going through that again. I've told you 100 times. I'll get it. Hello? Oh, yes, Branch. What's up? Oh, gee, that's tough. Sure, I'll be glad to. Uh-huh. Sure, I'll do it right away.
What does he want now?
He wants me to meet a friend of his and rush him home. His boy was just run over.
Oh, how terrible.
Branch isn't so good at this sort of thing. He wants me to tell the fella and take him home.
That's funny.
Don't worry, darling. You've just got the jitters. I'll be right back.
Just a little favor for Branch, Martin. It's the least you can do, isn't it? The tavern's only a few blocks away, and you arrive a few minutes later to find Mr. Williams in a booth at the rear.
Are you Mr. Williams?
What do you want?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I have some bad news. You are Mr. Williams, aren't you?
What's on your mind?
Your son.
Lenny?
Yeah.
What's happened? Quick, tell me.
Now, try to be calm, Mr. Williams. He's had an accident.
What? What are you... Lenny?
He was run over.
My Lenny? How? How did it happen?
That's all I know about it. I'm terribly sorry.
Where is he? Where is he? I've got to go to him.
He's home.
Oh, Lord. My poor Lenny.
If I can help you, my car's right outside.
Thanks. Come on.
Branch, what are you doing here?
Little business deal, Martin. All right, Williams, get in.
No. No, Branch. I'll give you every cent I've got. Please, Branch.
I heard that before. Get in.
I'll do anything you want, honest. But put that away. Don't make me. I won't, Branch. I won't get in.
Suit yourself, Williams.
Oh!
Get in, Martin. Hear what I said? Get in.
You shot him.
I said get in. I'll take the wheel. You're sitting kind of quiet for a lawyer.
I can't understand it, Branch.
It ain't that complicated for a man with your talent.
I put the finger on him. Who was he?
Oh, I thought I told you, Martin. He's the witness who didn't show up this afternoon.
With the prologue of The Trigger Man, the Signal Oil Company brings you another strange tale by The Whistler. You hear people say there's a reason for everything. Well, there's certainly a reason why in just 14 years the Signal Oil Organization has grown from a mere handful of stations in Southern California to almost 2,000 dealers serving 7 western states from Canada to Mexico. Briefly, that reason is quality of product. 14 years ago, it was Signal Oil Company that introduced the first guaranteed anti-knock gasoline at no extra price. And since then, Signal gasoline has been constantly improved to give you the benefit of every latest development in the automotive and petroleum industry. In today's new Signal gasoline, for instance, the atoms in gasoline molecules have actually been rearranged to create amazing new power. Power that not only helps you enjoy quicker starting, faster pickup, and quieter anti-knock performance from your car, but also helps you go farther than ever on each gallon of Signal. So you see, there's good reason for the swing to Signal. Good reason for you to get acquainted soon with the friendly station in your neighborhood displaying Signal's familiar yellow and black circle sign. And now, back to the Whistler.
Well, Martin, you've discovered something, haven't you? The judge in Radigan. Even Stella tried to tell you, but you couldn't understand until now. It happened so suddenly that it stuns you. Williams is dead, and you put the finger on him, didn't you? Acted as messenger boy for Branch Malone. Stood by him like one of his gunmen while he pulled the trigger. And there's nothing you can do to make it right again. Nothing you can say to the murdered man's wife or her son or Stella.
Martin. Martin, where have you been? It's past midnight. I've been worried sick.
It's just a little business, Stella. You'd better go back to bed.
What's the matter, Martin? You're white as a sheet.
Nothing.
What was it? Tell me.
Nothing, I said. I just had a talk with Branch, that's all. Now, go to bed.
All right, Martin. I'm sorry.
There's only one thing to do now, isn't there, Martin? You're walking down a one-way street, and there's no way to turn back. You're part of the organization now, one of Branch's boys, his counselor, and the only witness living who could put a rope around his neck. And you know exactly how Branch feels about that kind of a witness. So there's nothing to do but keep your mouth shut and hope for the best. You can't face Stella the next morning at the breakfast table. So you leave the house before she wakes and go down to the office. No one's there. You try and concentrate on your work, but it's no use. Go down to the coffee shop and try to eat, but you're not hungry. Walk in the park for a while, over to the library. You can't get your mind off of it, can you? Finally, at 11 o'clock, you returned and find your secretary waiting.
I've been trying to get you all morning, Mr. Lane. There was a call from Mr. Malone.
What? When?
About an hour ago. He wants you to see him.
All right. Where, at his club?
At the Hall of Justice. He was booked this morning on suspicion of murder.
What happened, Branch?
I thought you might know, Counselor.
What do you mean?
There was a tip-off last night.
What?
Yeah. Know anything about it?
Oh, now, wait a minute, Branch. Don't look at me. Well, you don't think
I didn't say nothing.
Well, listen, I'd be crazy to do anything like that, Branch.
Sure you would. That's what I told Spike.
Spike?
My trigger man, Martin. Don't believe you ever met Spike, did you?
No.
Nice guy to have on your side when you're in a spot. We were trying to figure out if any witnesses might have been around last night. Any besides you, I mean. What's the matter, Counselor?
Nothing. It's just been a little tough on me, Branch.
Sure. You know how I feel about witnesses, Martin.
Listen, believe me, I'm not going to talk. I won't say anything.
That's what I told Spike.
What do you mean?
And Spike, he said to me, don't worry if they pick you up, boss. Where there's no witnesses, there's no case. You can figure that one out for yourself, Counselor.
But, Branch...
There won't be any prosecution witnesses, Martin, because you're the only one. And you ain't going to be on the witness stand. You're going to defend me just like before. Only this time, Spike's going to be real interested in how you're doing. Get it?
Lane.
Oh, it's you, Redigan.
Didn't mean to scare you like that, Martin. A little jumpy, aren't you?
What do you want?
Get it all settled with the big boy? Heard you just had a chat with him down in his cell. Did he put the heat on?
I'm sorry, Redigan. I haven't got time to stand
Yeah,
around.
I know. You're a busy man. You haven't got time to think about little things. Like a guy suddenly not showing up at home and his wife trying to explain it to his kid. What does your wife think of that, Martin? What does she think when she looks at your kid?
Cut it, will you?
Okay. Just had to speak my little piece. But I just want to tell you, you're playing with dynamite this time, Sonny. Your friend knows all his blue chips are on the table, and whoever put the finger on Williams in that bar is the guy who's going to hang him. And this time, so help me, the witness won't disappear.
What are you getting at, Redigan?
I think you know enough about this case to hang Malone, and I think you'll come through for us. And when you do, it's going to be dangerous.
Why are you telling me all this?
I want you to know why I'm putting a tail on you.
What?
One of my men's going to watch you day and night, and if you know what's good for you, you won't try and give him the slip.
Is this for my protection?
Right. Like I said, Martin, this time the witness isn't going to disappear.
That puts it up to you, doesn't it, Martin? You can take your choice. Go along with Branch and toss the rest of your life into the ash can. Or tell what you know and face Spike later in a dark alley somewhere. Spike will be there, too, won't he, Martin? And you won't have a chance, because you don't know him from Adam. All you know is that he's never missed yet. That when Branch gives him the order, the witness disappears. You can't eat, you can't sleep, and worst of all, you can't explain to Stella.
Martin,
Yes?
what are you going to do?
Oh, will you forget it, Stella? He's my client. I've got to defend him.
Do you?
Of course I do.
Why, Martin, you know he's guilty. Why must you involve yourself in it further? You've got a right to turn him down. He doesn't own
Stella,
you.
please, will you let me alone?
You're an accomplice. If you defend him, you're as guilty as he is. Where are you going?
Out. Come on, Joe. We may as well be sociable.
I'm sorry, mister. I don't
Radigan
think you-
told me.
Wonder why he doesn't tell me these things. By the way, my name isn't Joe.
What is it?
Ed Morris.
Okay, Ed. I saw you following me all afternoon.
I thought you did.
I thought I'd walk around the block. That is, if you don't mind.
Why not?
Your boss would get a bang out of this, I suppose. Walking around together this way.
He just said to keep an eye on you. He didn't care how.
Is that all he said?
That's all. Radigan thinks you're a pretty good kid.
So what? Am I supposed to toss away the biggest case of my life just because he thinks I'm a good kid?
The guy's guilty and you know it.
What do you mean I know it?
If you didn't know it, I wouldn't be here.
You better stick to your gumshoeing, Ed.
Okay. Hey, there's a bar down the street.
I don't want to go on any bars.
Maybe it's just this bar, huh? Maybe because it's the one where William...
Did you hear what I said? I don't want to go on any bars.
All right, Martin.
I've changed my mind about taking a walk. I think I'll go home.
Yes, Martin, you're on a one-way street, a blind alley. There's no way to turn now, and there's a blank wall at the end. You've got to take the case. It's more than a matter of right and wrong. Yes, Martin. At this point, it's life or death. So you go to work on it. Visit Branch every day in his cell. Spend nights at the office preparing the case, plugging loopholes, anticipating points the prosecution is sure to bring out, making it another sure thing for Branch. You have 2 weeks until the arraignment, and Branch wants bail. 2 weeks without sleep, forgetting to eat, until you're almost ready to crack. And worst of all, you can't tell Stella. There's no way to make her understand. And then suddenly, on the night before the arraignment, you can't hold out on her any longer.
Martin. Martin, darling, you've got to tell me. You can't go on this way.
Please, Stella. There's nothing.
Are you afraid to tell me?
No,
Why did you lie to me, Martin? Why did you tell me you had nothing to do with the murder? Williams was the man you met that night, wasn't he?
Listen, Stella, you've got to forget it. Please, don't even
What
think...
are you afraid of?
All right, I'll tell you. I'm the witness. I'm the only one who can hang Branch. Radigan knows it. They all do, but they have no proof. That's why that guy's always waiting for me across the street. He's a guard. All I have to do is open my mouth and I'm dead. But if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't worry, see? It's you, too, and Susan. Don't you see? He won't stop at anything. Spike Robertson's waiting for me somewhere, waiting for me to open my mouth. And if I do, the guard won't make any difference. Spike won't stop until he gets us all.
Martin,
Well, now you know it. You were right, all of you. But it's too late now.
So you're going to defend him and let it happen again and again?
Yes.
Martin, I want you to stand up at the arraignment tomorrow and tell them everything.
Don't be ridiculous.
We'll take our chances, Martin. Susan and you and I. It has to be that way, dear. If we don't, there's nothing left, don't you see?
No, I'm afraid I don't. No. You'd better go on to bed, dear.
Yeah, you and me are going to do big things together, Martin. You're a smart boy.
Branch.
Yeah?
Branch, what if I told you that when I get you out of this arraignment and this jam, it was going to be the last time?
Huh?
That if I get you out of this one, we're all washed up.
What do you mean, if, Martin?
All right, when I get you out of this one.
How long you been thinking this over?
Oh, I don't know.
'Cause I don't like it, Martin. You just don't run out on this kind of a partnership. Not when a guy knows as much as you do.
Well, I'm not going to talk if that's what's worrying you.
Oh, you're wrong, Martin. I ain't worried. And okay, it's the last time if you want it that way. Of course, you won't be taking cases from anyone else either, but if you say it's the last time, there's nothing I can do but...
What do you mean, Branch?
I ain't in charge of ending partnerships, Martin. I leave that up to Spike.
So you go into the courtroom, Martin, and prosecution, as you think about the one-way street with Spike waiting at the end. Stella is there watching you, her face white and tense. Branch, confident, half smiling. The rest of them, Radigan, the judge, the jury, all looking at you, waiting, wondering what you'll say when the time comes. Then finally it comes, and you find yourself on your feet, going into your act.
May I remind the court that the so-called evidence presented by the prosecution is neither circumstantial evidence, nor is it direct evidence. It's nothing, gentlemen, but suspicion, based simply on the fact that it is alleged that my client had ample and sufficient motive to...
She's not looking at you now, Martin. She's bent over, her face in her hands. Radigan is turning away. The judge is looking down at the bench.
William's connection has yet to be demonstrated to the satisfaction of either the state or... I can't go on, Your Honor. I ask that the court disqualify me as counsel for the defense and offer myself as principal witness for the prosecution.
Martin. Oh, Martin, darling.
I knew you'd do it, kid. I knew it.
Thanks, Radigan. Thanks.
It's a new world, isn't it, Martin? There's a different feel to the sidewalk under your feet as you start home late that night after filing your statement with the district attorney's office. The streets are bare and deserted. Just you and Ed Morris, Radigan's guard.
Well, I missed you when I left the courthouse, Ed.
I was there, don't worry.
Well, looks like you've got a job on your hands now.
I'm ready. That was quite a thing you pulled. I thought Malone was going to pass out in his chair.
You know, it's funny, Ed. And now that it's over, I'm not scared at all.
They sent 2 men along with your wife. Stake out at your house, you know.
Yeah. Is this the car?
Yeah. Hop in.
Spike.
Yeah, that's right. Spike.
The Whistler will return in just a moment with a strange ending of tonight's story. Meantime, a question. How much longer will your car last? Well, the answer to that question depends pretty much on the care your car gets. That's why the extra care of Signal double-check lubrication is really more important to you now than ever before. You see, when your Signal dealer lubricates your car, in order to make doubly sure that not a single part can be missed, he uses the famous Signal check chart, on which the maker of your car shows every lubrication point. And your Signal dealer checks each point against this chart not just once, but twice to make double sure. What's more, he uses 9 special types of Signal lubricants, so each part on your car gets the exact type of protection it needs. Yes, there is a difference in a Signal double-check lubrication, a difference that can spell longer, trouble-free miles for your car. If it's been 1,000 miles or 2 months since last lubrication, there's no better life assurance you can give your car than to drive into one of the friendly stations displaying Signal's yellow and black circle sign for a Signal double-check lubrication. And now, back to the Whistler.
Well, Martin, Branch didn't waste any time, did he? 2 shots, and your guard lies dead at your feet. You look at the killer standing in front of you, the gun still smoking in his hand. There's nothing you can do, no way to turn. 10, maybe 15 minutes left to live. Long enough for him to take you to a lonely spot on the highway and make another witness disappear. Then, strangely, you find yourself thinking of the deposition, safe in the district attorney's office. And, stranger still, you discover you still aren't afraid.
No use checking him. He's dead.
Yeah. I don't miss very often.
Oh, what do we do now?
Well, maybe we better get in the car and hustle him over to the morgue.
What are you talking about?
That's what we usually do with the stiffs.
I don't get it, Spike.
Spike?
Yeah?
You know Radigan was putting a tail on you, didn't you?
Well, sure I did, but...
That's me, Stanley, DA's office. The guy in the gutter you've been palling around with for 2 weeks is Spike.
Next Monday at 9 o'clock, The Whistler will bring you another strange tale. The Whistler is broadcast for your entertainment by the marketers of Signal gasoline and motor oil and fine quality automotive accessories, and by your neighborhood Signal dealer. This program, produced by George W. Allen, written by Harold Swanton from an idea by Robert and Beatrice Gruskin, music by Wilbur Hatch, is transmitted to our troops overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler. This is Marvin Miller speaking, reminding you to look for those familiar yellow and black circle signs that identify those popular Signal Oil stations in 7 western states from Canada to Mexico. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.